Good evening and welcome to the August 18th, 2026 Old Bridge Township Council meeting. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing as we do a moment of silence and our prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary, we stand for a moment to remember those who are protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad, for our first responders, for those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, and for everyone suffering around the world. A moment of silence, please. Our prayer, Mr. Pasquini.
Dear Lord, bless thy servants in the ministry of public affairs who serve you in this chamber. Give us quiet minds and hearts that we may hear your voice. Help us to know when to speak, when to be silent. Give us the strength to oppose the wrong and uphold the right, and grant that we have a good conscience and a soul at peace with thee and with one another. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated.
Roll call, Council President.
Please.
Councilman Asatuli.
Yeah.
Let the record reflect that Councilman De Palma is absent. Councilman Desai.
Yeah.
Councilman Merwin. Councilman Pasquini.
Here.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Here.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Here.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg-Belli. Here. And Council President Sohar.
Here.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice has been given to the official newspapers of the Township on January 8th, 2026, and has been posted in public places. Next open public meeting of the Township Council will be held on Tuesday, September 15th, 2026 at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting. And we're going to begin this evening with something very special that we really are so happy to do. And this is going to be proclamations, police department promotions and awards, and then presentation of certificates to our first responders, both of which we so appreciate. All of you, thank you for being here this evening. Good evening. Okay. We will give him chief. We'll give him the courtesy. Hello.
Okay. We're going to bring in all the officers at once because there's a lot.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
I'll just read.
Officers that were honored earlier today. Detective Annuzzi, Patrolman Asiello, Detective Sergeant Belgio, Retired Patrolman Bolognese, Detective Bucci, Acting Lieutenant Brock, Sergeant Brady, Patrolman Candora, Detective Canillo, Patrolman Chericola, Patrolman Connolly, Patrolman Corona, Patrolman Cronin, Patrolman DeMeo, Patrolman Duclis, Patrolman Endez, Patrolman Falco, Retired Detective Flynn, Patrolman Gavaris, Sergeant Goy, Detective Greco, Patrolman Gregoli, Sergeant Christopher Hamill, Patrolman Hartman, Detective Haviland, Patrolman Heredia, Patrolman Jacoby, Patrolman Jacketsoon, Patrolman Janks, Sergeant Krasinski, Patrolman Landy, Patrolman Matchnick, Detective Massa, Detective Matola, Patrolman Nielsen, Patrolman Polino, Patrolman Petrulowitz, Patrolman Rothman, Patrolman Sansone, Patrolman Swartz, Patrolman Smith, Sergeant Snee, the retired Patrolman Spina, Patrolman Szymanski, Patrolman Walzak, Patrolman Weiss, Andrew Weiss, Detective Keith Weiss, Michael Petschower, and our K-9, Zeus.
Good evening, Mayor Walker, members of the Township Council, and everyone here tonight. I am honored to have the opportunity to introduce a few of the police officers from the Old Bridge Police Department who are recognized tonight at our award ceremony. These officers represent what we ask of every member of this department. They show up every day, they answer the calls, and when a situation becomes dangerous, they don't hesitate to step forward and help. As I said earlier tonight, being a police officer today is not an easy job. Our officers are often dealing with people on the worst day of their lives, and sometimes they are asked to put themselves in harm's way to protect someone they don't even know. The officers I'm about to introduce, or Officer McCauley introduced, went above and beyond in doing exactly that. They demonstrated courage, professionalism, compassion, and a commitment to the people of Old Bridge. I am extremely proud of each of them, and I'm proud to call them members of the Old Bridge Police Department. At this time, congratulations to all of them, and thank you for representing the Old Bridge Police Department and our community so well. Thank you.
All right, you guys are done.
We're ready to do the promotions now.
I'd like to take a moment and recognize two members of the Old Bridge Police Department who will be taking their oath of office tonight as they begin their new roles with the department. First, Lieutenant Michael Machin. Mike was hired by the Old Bridge Police Department on July 1st, 1999. Mike and I were hired together, so I've had the opportunity to work alongside him for many years. We worked together in the patrol division and later in the detective bureau, and I've had the chance to see firsthand the type of police officer Mike is. Mike is dedicated to this department, dedicated to the community, and most importantly, he is the type of supervisor who always has his officers' backs. His officers know that they can count on him, and that says a lot about the kind of leader he is. Lieutenant Mike Machin is currently assigned to the Patrol Division, where he continues to serve the officers and residents of Old Bridge. Mike, congratulations on your promotion to lieutenant. You have certainly earned it. You can do the oath, right? Or, yeah. She's going to get the.
And then your family.
Let's move on.
Oh, let's get out away from the microphone.
We'll keep them on display until the Bible comes. What's that? Yeah. You guys can just hang. Yeah, we're going to do the oath.
Because I'm going to hold the Bible. While we're waiting, I just want to say congratulations to everyone. We do have an amazing police department. I think we've made it to number 1 now, right? Right, Tom?
We're good now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
We should do the other guy and then swear them in.
I could tell funny stories about Mike when we were out there on patrol. What's that?
I could tell some driving stories.
Yeah, when he did graduate the academy, we rode together, and I told him he's definitely not allowed to drive.
Where'd she go? Oh, here she is. Here she comes. Whew. Okay. Need the Bible? Tony, you have the Bible? I got it.
Okay. Who would like to hold? You would? I state your name.
I, Michael Machin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of my position of
all the duties of my position of lieutenant.
for the Township of
Police
Aldridge,
officer, lieutenant for the Township of Aldridge,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
They're getting pictures? Do they want pictures? Do they want pictures? Do they want?
Pictures like the family? Okay.
Next, I would like to recognize Sergeant Brian Brady. That's you. 1993 state champ. 94, I'm sorry. Yeah, bring him up.
Yes.
Do you want to stand on the other side? Give them
Oh, no, you're not blocking me. You're fine.
Raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brian Brady,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all my duties of the position of
all the duties of my position of
Sergeant for the Township of Old
Sergeant of the Township of Old Bridge
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
fire now, yeah.
All right. Now we'll have presentation of certificates to our first responders. Mayor Walker?
On April 22nd, 2026, at approximately 18:30, 500 hours, the South Oldbridge Fire Department responded to a reported brush fire to the rear of 512 Marlborough Road. Shortly after arriving on the scene, one of their members suffered a medical emergency. EMS was immediately requested to the scene by the driver of engine 322. Members of the Oldbridge Police Department, Oldbridge Township EMS, dispatch, and our firefighters quickly stepped up and provided exceptional care to our downed firefighter. CPR and other life-saving medical interventions were initiated immediately. Once the RWJ medics arrived, they continued providing outstanding medical care. Now I'd like to call up Chief Joe Frizzalone to honor these members.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Walker, Town Council, residents of Oldbridge. The mayor took most of my speech already, so I'm going to skip to the bottom part now. I would like to personally thank all the members that played a role in this, from the South Oldbridge Fire Department, Police Department, Oldbridge Township EMS, Oldbridge dispatchers, and as well as the Robert Wood Johnson medics. Your rapid response, professionalism, teamwork, and dedication made a difference in when it mattered most. Because of your swift actions taken by everybody on scene, a life was saved. Some may say we were just doing our job, but this incident hit different. This involved one of our own, a member of the first responder family. The compassion, urgency, dedication shown that evening will never be forgotten. When one of our own needed help, everyone stepped up without hesitation. Thank you to everyone who played a part in bringing one of our own home. Next, I'd like to call up the 6 members that played a major part in saving his life. Captain Eric Ritz. Why don't you go there? No. Ex-Chief Robert Verney, Jr. Police Officer Robert Gavaris. Police Officer Brandon Smith. OB Thames EMT Megan Casper. Oldbridge Township EMS, Robert Heyer.
Sorry, I told you I stole it. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. This is what Old Bridge is all about. We're such a wonderful community, and this is what it's all about. And I want to give everyone a real big round of applause tonight for our first responders.
Take care, everyone. Have a good evening. And again, to reiterate, hi, and there's mother, proud mother, Mrs. Brady. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and congratulations, and so thankful for all that you do for this community. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. So on a lot of people's mind has been taxes lately and school taxes. And Assemblyman Alex Zawicki has been on the forefront trying to restore funding to school districts like Old Bridge. So I thought I'd reach out to him and have him come tonight and explain how we got to where we are and how we could help things. Because the taxes are, they're getting unaffordable. So I thought it would be very important for him to come tonight and share a lot of things that are happening in Trenton, because that's where all this is coming from. Thank you.
Right. Good evening. If not, try the
What do I got to hit, Mayor?
Oh, it's on.
There we go. Hear me okay? All right, great. Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council President and Council, for having me tonight. Always a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to come to council meetings, committee meetings, Board of Ed meetings, all over the district, and frankly, outside of my legislative district. The issues that the mayor alluded to and that Old Bridge is facing is something certainly that's been happening not only in Legislative District 12, which Old Bridge is part of, but really across the majority of the state. And what started out for me as an issue that kind of hit me square between the eyes from the moment that I was sworn into the role, that focused on just a couple of towns that I represented at first, and then it quickly became something much bigger, to the point that I am really going all over the state to talk about the problems that we're having with school funding, and ultimately with property taxes that Old Bridge and other towns are feeling as a result, really, of one major thing, and that is what was previously known as the S2 funding formula. And for the residents here in the audience, if you're not familiar, S2 simply stands for Senate Bill 2. It was a bill that was sponsored back in 2018 by then Senate President Steve Sweeney. It was billed as a fairer funding formula. And quite frankly, in my opinion, in approaching 4 years within the Assembly, it has been nothing but a disaster. It's certainly been a disaster for suburban and rural school districts and their municipalities. To give you an idea, for those that I was able to give a handout to, I shared some statistics on the back page of what I handed out. If you don't know, Old Bridge, all of you collectively pay about $90 million in income tax every year, and that's gone up for the last 3 years, but it's roughly $90 million at this point. You get about $25 million back in state aid. That number 8 years ago was more than double that. Right, so that gives you an idea of the amount every year that is being lost. Right, it's not a one time; it's every year you're losing that funding. To the tune of about $30 million. So what's even worse, if you break it down on a per pupil basis, and you consider the enrollment within the Old Bridge school system, that's only about $3,100 per student. Now, I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks that you're going to educate a child on $3,100. So where's the rest get made up? Well, by design, the funding formula said at the local level with property taxes. And that's unfortunately what we're seeing. So one of the reasons I'd like to come out and make sure that I have this conversation is to make sure that the municipalities, those attending school board meetings, absent other issues that might be present at those, school boards, for example, it is not the school board's fault that this is happening. It is the state's fault, without a doubt. The state caused this problem starting in 2018. You take the first year out, to kind of absorb what you just did. You've had 8 years to fix it, and the state hasn't done that either. So I wanted also to maybe underscore it even more. Again, on the back, I mentioned $90 million in income tax for Old Bridge. You get $25 million back in school funding. The city of Newark, I've gotten stats that say they contribute $44 million in income tax. So Old Bridge, $90 million. The city of Newark, which is about 4 times larger, is about $44 million. Now, I won't belabor it, but I got in an op-ed battle with Mayor Ross Baraka over that $44 million, where he said it was higher. So I'm going to call it less than $100 million. All right, whatever you want to call it, it's comparable or less than what you're paying here in Old Bridge. They get $1.4 billion in state aid. All right, so you're getting $25 million of your $90 million back. Newark's contributing less than $100 million, and they're getting $1.4 billion. By the way, some of the rationale that's always been used for the last several years of why municipalities and school districts like Old Bridge were losing funding is because enrollment was down. Enrollment is projected to be down over 1,000 students in Newark this year. They're getting an extra $60 million, all right, on top of what they were already getting. All right, so it's a very unfair funding formula. If you break it down per pupil, again, $3,100 per student in Old Bridge, $32,000 per student in Newark. All right. By the way, that's not even the highest. Actually, Camden is at $55,000 per student. All right. So I'm not saying that there isn't some reason for helping other districts out. And Old Bridge and towns like Old Bridge were always doing that. I mean, before S2 was implemented, you were doing that. Some of your income tax were helping out other municipalities, other school districts. Now it's completely lopsided. To make it even worse, and where I've been calling very publicly the Newark School District in particular out, is what they're doing with that money. In my opinion, they have so much of your tax money now, they just don't know what to do with it. As an example, this year, they proposed a 30-year building lease, not ownership, a lease of $500 million over 30 years for a lease. They have an AI-enabled security system they've already purchased for $17 million. While we have school districts in Legislative District 12 that can't get one resource officer for $100,000 a year, right? But they can spend $17 million on a security system, all for good security. I am. But when you have that much money and you can buy the best of the best, you got a lot of money. My favorite is the school district museum, not the Newark Art Museum, not the Newark Natural History Museum, the Newark City School District Museum, $5 million. All right, $2.8 million on a teacher supply grant that gives teachers in Newark $1,000 each every year to buy supplies. I'm the son of a teacher and I'm married to a teacher. I would love to see that happen for all teachers. It would cost about $400 million a year to do that, all right? But Newark gets to do that because they got that much money, and it's to the tune of $2.8 million. And then the last, one of my other favorites is their $1.1 million travel budget, where they have gone, for sure, in multiple numbers to places like Honolulu, Vegas, and New Orleans, all right, in all for educational purposes. So, I've been out in front on this. I'm fighting like hell for you guys. I proposed bills that could help, which is on the front page of what I handed out. I won't go through all of them, but I did want to share with the council and the mayor and some of the audience some of those bills. These are bills that I've submitted. I'll direct you to the last one under funding, A4750. That was introduced this year specifically with Old Bridge in mind. And only municipalities and school districts like Old Bridge would qualify. So anybody township that went up more than 9.9% in the last 2 years combined would qualify. And they would get money towards additional costs that you incurred this year because of healthcare costs. As I'm sure everybody on the council knows, you're looking at 30% increases in healthcare across the board. All right. And this is after your funding cuts over the last year. Actually, Old Bridge did actually have a little bit of an increase this year, but cumulatively over the last 8 years, you've gotten shredded, like absolutely destroyed. So it was just salt in the wound when healthcare costs went up like they did. And so A4750 was designed to help Old Bridge and towns like Old Bridge. The other one I wanted to call out because I don't want anyone to think that I just complain. That I'm just this guy who's screaming from the rafters, telling you how bad things are. I do a lot of policy. I put a lot of bills in. I get a lot of bills passed, even being in the minority. And in fact, humbly, in the last session, the number one in my caucus to get bills signed into law. All right. And that's because I do reach across the aisle and I do try to work on common sense issues with common sense people. All right. And I believe whether you swing one way or another with respect to parties, I do believe that the residents that I represent, my constituents, want to see us get something done, actually get work done. All right. So I take a lot of pride in that. We think about the policy we put forth, and I do work across the aisle to try and get some of that policy moved, and I've been pretty successful doing it, even being in the minority. The one on the bottom, which has all X's, is one that's drafted and I'll be submitting next month. It's about 9 months, 10 months in the works. Frankly, it's about 4 years in the works, but the last 9 or 10 months have been really focused on a completely new funding formula. And you would think there's been just several bills submitted at this point to replace the bad funding formula that we're still operating under. S2 itself expired 2 years ago. Now it's just the Department of Education is just freewheeling it. They're just making it up as they go along. And that's the truth. You should have gotten more money over the last 2 years than you did. What happened was the Department of Ed put a cap in. So you should have gotten several $1 million back of all that you lost over the last 8 years by design of the original formula. And what the Department of Ed said is, well, hold on, that expired. We're going to just kind of make our own rules for the next couple of years. And what they did, instead of letting you have the money back you were entitled to, they capped it. So like I said, you got a little bit of an increase from last year to this year, but it was 6%, and that's the cap. That's what you got, all right? So we need a new funding formula. I've got a new funding formula that I'm submitting next month. It's a per pupil based funding formula, which is, in my opinion, one of the best ways to look at this, because, you hear 1.4 million here and a couple $100 million there, but when you break it down per student, it really hits home. Right, 32,000 in Newark per student, 3,100 per student in Old Bridge. It doesn't get any simpler than that. The other thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and I try to raise awareness on, are the student-teacher ratios. Right, as an example, Jackson Township, which I also represent, in the last 3 years has had to sell 2 schools, an elementary and a middle school, and combine their high schools. Now, enrollment was down, to be fair, not even close to what we're talking about here. Enrollment was down about 10%. They've lost 60% in funding. So it's not a 1-for-1, all right? And because of those closures and because of those combinations of schools, you're now looking at 35 to 40 students per teacher in classrooms, which is ridiculous, So not the best situations. It doesn't get talked about a lot because I don't think, frankly, just not enough people look at it. But, you hear that and it's like, well, what's the point? Right? If those are the ratios that these schools are going to be operating under and the results are going down, and they are, all right, what are we thinking here? So I wanted to let you know I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for the residents of the town. I'm fighting for the school district. Happy to go to a school board meeting and talk to them as well. Been doing it all over Legislative District 12. Do it quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Met with a school board on Friday, was at a committee meeting last Tuesday for another town, and a council meeting the week before that. Love doing it, love coming out to see everybody. By the way, loved the ceremony tonight. Police, fire, EMS are amongst my favorite people, so to be here for that was an honor. With that, I'm happy to take any questions from the council or the mayor. Yes?
Yeah, that's right.
What's the status of the lease, the 30-year lease? I know that's been a lot of questions. It was supposedly a donor, I believe. Is the lease long going, or is it being stopped?
As far as I know, it has not been signed yet. There's certainly been several of us raising awareness to it. In fact, the entire Assembly Republican caucus sent a letter to the state asking for it to be held up and for it to be looked into. There's been questions around the ownership of that building. The contributions the ownership's making politically, and whether that's right or not, that's what's been raised. And I think until that gets looked at, you got to question $500 million on a lease. All right, and I don't know if you noticed what one of the bills I have on here going forward will require a vote for something like that going forward. Today, they can just do it, with the permission of the Department of Education. I have a bill right now that says, hey, going forward, anything over 15 years, anything over a certain dollar amount has to go to the town for a vote to even approve something, so egregious.
Yeah, because I believe that the owner that property also has other LLCs or maybe another one within the confines of Newark. So I think he's involved in more than one, numerous properties throughout the
I've
city.
read that, whether it's true or not, I couldn't tell you, but I've certainly read that, and it's worth looking at considering the amount of money we're talking about here. Thanks for the question.
Anyone else on
Council Vice President.
First of all, I want to thank you for taking the time to come here, and I think hopefully it will give a better understanding to everyone. And this issue is really detrimental to towns. It's catastrophic, in fact. I got so many calls when the tax bill went out, and I feel for everyone here. We have no say with the Board of Ed, but I also feel bad for the Board of Ed. Just like you said, it is the governors, and it's been going on for 8 years, and they saw this coming down the line, and they did nothing to correct it. In fact, it's gotten worse. And I don't think it's necessary at all when you think about, you raised a budget to $60.5 billion. All the money that I said that before that you get from online banning, cannabis now, from Atlantic City, from lottery, from gas tax, every gallon of gas you buy, 50 cents goes. But not only that, how can they let this happen? It's not Democrat or Republican, it's the citizens. And I feel for everyone in this town that is bearing this brunt because it's for no fault of their own. Right. And how can you plan financially and how do you move forward? There are people on fixed incomes, there are people that are seniors, there's people that are disabled that can't work, and you budget your home based on what you bring in, and this happens. But you have to look at the whole picture of this. This isn't just the school system. It's a crisis throughout New Jersey with so many things. If you pay attention and realize what's happening in this state, Samsung Electric left Texas, okay? ExxonMobil, Texas. Mars, Texas. Going to Chicago, the main business. Anheuser-Busch, Verizon lost 1,300 jobs. Bristol-Myers, 1,700 jobs. Johnson & Johnson, Hertz. This is non-sustainable. When you tax these corporations, I often say, New Jersey used to be the bellwether of pharmaceutical companies in New Jersey. What they did to those corporations, they're so often vilifying people that work and create jobs for themselves instead of working with them. What happens? It affects from the janitors to the cafeteria worker, not just the CEO, and they've moved out of the state. So this has been going on for a while, and we've raised red flags all along, but this is non-sustainable. They're not going to give us money. Listen, I do believe if Jack Citarelli was elected governor, we would not be in this situation, and I feel confident with the CPA that wouldn't happen. And they want to say this and laugh, but this is all going on for 8 years, and no one is doing anything about it. And I have got calls during this time. People call me up when they got their tax bill. I feel like I'm being robbed, and if I call the police, no one's going to come for this. And I feel for them. I feel the same way. And what happened? This started when you said 8 years ago. I remember that I was at a school board meeting. They already did their budget. The next month, how do you even not time it properly with when schools do their budget? I could see if you're going to cut things and you have your reasoning, you could say, okay, next year we're going to do this, prepare for it. There was no preparation at all. Right. So everyone, listen, I believe in education and I believe every student deserves an education. But if you look at the disparity, and if you look at the results, it's not fair. There are hardworking people that are sending the money to the state from Old Bridge, and they're not getting it back. They have an increased state aid, not only to the Board of Ed, to the municipality. It is a catastrophe, and I appreciate you putting forward this legislation. It's upsetting to me that they don't pay attention and they don't realize they don't care about their own residents. They don't care about their own citizens. I could go on and on about waste, and I'm sure I will at different times, and everyone else understands it, but this is a situation that everyone has to stand up for. Democrat, Republican, Independent, write to the governor and say this is not sustainable. What are you doing with this money? It's unacceptable, and I hope you do continue to make a difference, and I appreciate all your hard work. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Assemblyman, for your hard work and efforts. Appreciate it. Is anyone discussing down there about, statewide, we have a problem with our education system. It's socialized, and there's no competition, so the quality is going down, and the cost is going up. And that's been on and on and on since the 50s. And it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, my tax bill just went up, my quarterly tax bill, $500 for one quarter. You know, so, I mean, how much can the people stand before they start moving out?
Yeah.
So my thing is that if you bring in competition and you allow other schools to come in and we take our tax dollars and put it towards those schools and let the money follow the child instead of by a zip code, you know what I'm saying? And then you'd bring the competition in and you'll get higher quality and lower cost. Yeah. And that's proven out over and over again.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'd say, you know, you have to admit you have a problem before you can solve it, right? And, you know, if you listen to things like the annual budget address, and I've heard 4 of them myself every year so far, every governor has talked up the education that we provide in New Jersey as the best in the country. You know, I'm pretty sure all 4 of them said that, you know, or, you know, 2, but over 4 years. You know, the reality is that the numbers are getting worse. You know, suburban and rural districts that were operating very fiscally responsibly for years, particularly post-COVID, have been just devastated. I mean, they've lost the funding. You had the post-COVID impact. And if you look at, and I literally have the numbers of math and reading scores for every school district in the state, and they're down, right? And, you know, you look at some of the towns where they're really down, and it's shocking. Like, I think most people in the room would look at some of these towns and say, where did that come from? You know, how did a town like that have such low numbers? And then you have some that are just, I mean, dismal, just absolutely dismal, right? And listen, let's break this down. This is about school children. I don't care where they're at, right? I mean, if they're in Newark, they're in Camden, they're in Trenton, they deserve to get a good education. Yes. But when you have a Department of Ed commissioner saying it's not about outcomes, it's about needs, when you talk about all the funding that goes to those towns, I'm shaking my head. I mean, what do you mean it's not about outcomes? You know, that's setting no bar, like not a low bar. I'm talking no bar, right? And I don't think the parents in Newark, Camden, and Trenton agree with that. I think they want their kids to get out of Newark, Trenton, and Camden in some cases, right? They want them to get a good education. So you have recently the Education Commissioner making a statement like that, and to me that was mind-blowing. You know, that it's not about outcomes. We're sending all that money to Newark and sending all that money to Camden and Trenton because of needs. And then you look at the results. In Trenton, the 2 main numbers that you look at, the math and the reading numbers, both are below 10%. I think it's the only one in the state, but there's a lot where it's one or the other. It's the only one I know of where both are below 10%.
When you say 10%, you're meaning that high school students graduating can't read
Proficiency.
or write.
Yeah, proficiency.
Proficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? Below 10% in
And
both
we have,
categories.
you know, our children are geniuses. We just have to educate them.
Right. But, you know, it starts at the top. I mean, when you have the commissioner saying, well, it's not really about outcomes, it's about needs. Listen, we have programs for needs. All right, the school funding is supposed to give kids an education, and it should be about outcomes. But you know, that was a recent statement, and you know, this year, and I was really blown away by that. And you know, I agree with what you're saying. Throwing money at it isn't doing it, right?
Newark is proof, right here.
Newark is proof, right? I mean, they're getting $1.4 billion in state aid, and their numbers are not good at all.
Yeah, and we have a really good school system here.
Yeah, you do.
We're not getting the aid that we
and
need.
if they were funded to adequacy, which the state calculates, and you're not getting the funding you need to be at adequacy. Every school district gets that number, and most of the ones we're talking about, suburban and rural, are not getting that funding to adequacy. So,
Thank you. Keep up the good work.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming today, Alex.
Sure.
Really appreciate you kind of curbing the hearsay that's out there and speaking the truth to what's going on in Trenton. It's interesting. I actually called the chief of staff. I actually called one time in Trenton, and I asked him about, you know, school funding. So they got on the phone. You know what they said to me, Alex? They said, where do you live? So I'm a councilman of Old Bridge, New Jersey. And they said, well, did your home prices go up 40%? then you could afford to pay for it. Now, wait. So I said, excuse me? How many people in your office went up 40%, ma'am? 0. Number 2, I said, can you send me the funding formula? She's outright. Right? You laughing because you understand where I'm going with this, right?
know, yeah.
She went, it's fuzzy. Can you imagine? I'm calling, now, all the people here, it's the truth.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have one of the highest taxes in the country, correct?
Consistently in the
Right.
top 3.
And we
if
are
not number
last
1.
in fiscal responsibility, am I correct?
Yeah.
So is it a money problem, tax problem, or a spending problem with waste, fraud, and abuse?
I publicly say all the time, this state does not have a revenue issue. We tax plenty. We have a spending problem.
Right.
All right. And to put it in perspective, as I think the Council Vice President mentioned, we're at almost $61 billion in budget. That's up from $35 billion 8.5 years ago. All right. So 8.5 years ago, $35 billion budget. We're now at $61 billion. State of Pennsylvania has 2.5 million more people than us, and their budget's in the mid-50s. How are they able to do that with 2.5 million more people, and we can't? Right?
Well, that's why transparency is important, right?
Yeah.
So if we ask them a question about transparency, there is none.
Yeah.
Send us the formula.
Yeah,
We got to
well,
make it better, right? There's got to be a way, right?
I'm laughing, as you probably know, because there were multiple lawsuits from school districts to get the funding formula, and they won. They still didn't get it. They literally won the lawsuit, and they still haven't seen the funding formula.
It's so interesting, Alex, because even here in Old Bridge, in 20 years, guess what? We haven't got an increase in state aid, right, Anna? Not a dime in state aid in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
With more people, more students, more everything, haven't got a dime.
No, you've
in the
lost.
last 10 years, we've kept our taxes at 1.8%.
Yeah.
No, 20 years, no money from the state.
Yeah.
That's fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
That would be, if the Trenton was doing it, guess what? We'd probably be in a really good place.
And that's most of the municipalities I represent. The municipal tax rate isn't the problem. You know, the tax to run the town, not the problem, right? Now, admittedly, I think most residents don't really know the breakdown and what the mix is, the county taxes, the school taxes. School taxes by far, as everybody up here knows, by far is the major factor and is by far what I'm seeing municipality to municipality where the numbers are going up. You know, and it's tied directly back to what I said with the S2 formula. You know, for the residents, I wrote an op-ed a couple of years ago called "Your Children's Schools Are Being Destroyed and It's by Design." You could Google it and easily find it, where, you know, this was done on purpose. All right. To some of the other comments, though, even colleagues across the aisle are feeling it, though, now. Right, because, you know, people change in terms of what they represent, right? Somebody might get elected to represent this district where maybe they were in one party, you know, 5-6 years ago, and then it changes. Well, now you have colleagues across the aisle who are representing towns where their school districts are getting killed, you know, and they're hearing about it. Now, why they're not doing anything about it, I don't know. I really can't help you there. And it was announced, you know, again, after the governor gave her budget address, that they don't expect to address it this year. You know, it's just keep kicking the can.
They're just involved in so many things in people's lives, and we're supposed to have limited government, and it's supposed to be for the individual, but we're involved in everything, and we're 50th here and highest taxes. You're right, like you just said, great point.
Yeah.
We tax so much money, we don't have a revenue problem.
No.
We got a budget problem and a spending problem. If we curb that, guess what? We probably put a lot more money in our pockets and give the schools the money they needed, right?
Yeah.
So that's something we need to work on, you know? So, but thank you for coming and putting up the fight, Alex.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
I just want to say, let's not perceive it as we're dumping on the teachers. It's not a money thing in Newark, urban areas, let's face it, it's a partnership, a lack of parental involvement is a reason why a lot of these scores are low. I think we can all agree to that.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, listen, I don't want to put the line teacher and label them with the NJEA, two different entities as far as I'm concerned. We have the teacher, then we have the NJEA. And when you know, when we get into these urban areas, the problem is the lack of parental involvement. I know teachers in Newark, I have friends that work there, so I know how difficult it is for them to deal with, you know, parents and the lack of involvement. So I know at $32,000 per student, I mean, you can go to CBA, you go to all these different high-end schools, but, you know, that's also a contributing factor to the low test scores, the lack of parental involvement.
No doubt. And to my comment about the DOE commissioner saying it's about needs and not outcomes, listen, I agree that those areas need additional support, but we have other programs to do that. Right? When it comes to school funding, the school funding is supposed to give them an education, But if you're setting the bar so low that it's not about outcomes at all, you're stating that as the
Well,
commissioner.
there's no doubt that he's the same guy who was dressed up, right, in that white outfit? Wasn't he?
That's the commissioner.
Okay, the
Yeah, that's-
commissioner. So,
that-
yeah,
I'm sorry, the superintendent.
I don't want people to perceive like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely, teachers have a difficult job everywhere, but
yeah.
in the urban
Yeah.
environment even
Yeah.
more, because there has to be a partnership with the
No doubt.
parents. And,
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah, it's
can't
tough
just
there.
blame the teacher.
Yeah.
You got to have parents
Yeah, like
involved.
I said, I'm the son of a teacher and I'm married to one. So if I, listen, I want to support education anyway. Could you imagine Thanksgiving if I didn't though? Right? I mean, if I didn't take this on, I'd hear it at Thanksgiving every year. So I am fighting for them for sure. I'm a big fan of teachers, so much I married one. And, I do know what they go through and certainly understand what they go through in more urban districts as well.
Yeah. Assemblyman, I just emailed you a copy of a letter that the Democratic leadership of Old Bridge sent to the governor. And
Great.
hopefully it's not very far removed from your platform. So
I appreciate you sending it.
anything, there should be a bipartisan thing.
Without a
no
doubt.
finger pointing.
Yeah.
Finger pointing is over. It's not going to get us any money.
No, time to fix it.
So it's what we have to work on. So
Yeah, agreed.
thank you.
I just have a question about, you sent that letter, did you get a response, Dave? Mr. Warren?
I have not.
Has anyone? Have you spoken to them?
I can't answer for anybody else. I have not gotten a response.
You have not
but
heard
they
that
did
anyone
not
else
have
got a
my
response?
information, so
No, but what I'm saying, you haven't heard that anyone else
I
got a
have
response?
not heard, no.
And that letter was sent a few weeks ago, and no one's heard it?
Anyone else? Right? Anyone else on my left? Well, again, reiterating, thank you for coming this evening and sharing that with us.
Thank you.
I mean, our most precious is our children to
Without a
us,
doubt.
every one of us. I mean, whether your grandchildren, your children, this is who we care about, and we only want what's best for them. And when you throw out that information and you quantify by saying how much we're giving to the state and what we're getting in return. It's sad. It really is. And it's heartbreaking because we are really trying to make a go of this here in town. And I think the schools are trying their best and we're trying our best. And it's kind of like the tide is just, it's overwhelming us. And there has to be some way to try to get the attention and make it more fair for all of us. And I appreciate you doing that because this is not an easy task, but we're getting to a crisis situation here and it's
It is a crisis. It's
terrible.
It's an overall
The
affordability
insurance
crisis.
that, all the challenges that we're facing. And instead of trying to work with us, we need some help here. And I think I appreciate you and all that's being done to try to do that for us.
Well, I'll keep fighting for you all.
Yeah, thank you, we appreciate it.
Yep, you got it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming. When you raise the taxes like this, you're hurting the children because you're taxing the parents and now they have less money to spend and it's a hardship on them. So we all need to get together and try to figure this out.
Well, thank you all. Appreciate
And
it.
if people have questions, they can contact your office, correct? If the public, because I'm sure you gave a lot of information and it's appreciated. And then questions, you'll be able to answer for them.
I did. On the handouts I have, of course, I also have the social pages that I have,
Yeah.
which I post stuff daily just to
Great.
keep people informed. And all of my office contact information is on those sites as well.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
You have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, okay. Good night. Next, we're going to be doing approval of minutes, resolution approving regular combined council meeting minutes of June 9th, 2026, and June 23rd, 2026, and executive session meeting minutes of June 23rd, 2026. Do I have
Move
a
it.
motion?
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Pasquitti. Roll call. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
He's sleeping.
Councilman?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Bill list, Mr. Von Stetten?
Thank you, Council President. Accounts payable, $14,232,013.39. Payroll for July 31st, 2026, $1,389,573.64. Payroll overtime for July 31st, $40,230.28. Payroll for August 14th, 2026, $1,408,349.84. And payroll overtime for August 14th, $53,122.05.
Thank you very much. Do we have a breakdown of the overtime, Anna?
Yes. For the July 31st payroll, we saw a slight uptick due to our 250th celebration events at Cottrell and Menino Park, as well as some Public Works building improvements that were being done that pay period. The police overtime for that payroll was $24,822.92. Deduct grants, $5,460. Deduct ETO, $6,877.88. Deduct accreditation and beach patrol, $2,635.34, for a total of $9,849.70. And for the August 14th payroll, there was no major upticks. And the sworn police overtime for that payroll was $36,303.16. Deduct grants, $6,036.52. Deduct ETO, $7,585.82. And deduct accreditation and beach patrol, $4,407.19, for a total of $18,273.63. And we currently have one officer on light duty.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve the bill list?
Second.
Moved by
Mr. Von Stetten?
Councilman Von Stetten. Who second?
Mr.
Councilman Pasquini. Roll call. Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Yes. Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries.
We'll start our discussion items. The first one is redevelopment plan for portions Lot 9.11 and 11.11 of amended Menino Park Track redevelopment area. Good evening.
Good evening, Council President, Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Rozzelli. Lawrence Sachs on behalf of Sir Associates, which is the owner of the property at Block 8005, lots 911 and 11.11. We were asked to just give a brief presentation this evening, just to talk about what we are proposing with respect to amending the Menino Park Tract redevelopment area where this property is located. As you all know, the property is at the basically at the intersection of Jake Brown Road and Route 516. It is in your Menino Park redevelopment area. The EDO zone is your overlay zone. Just to give you a little detail about the property itself, it's about 12.26 acres. It's been owned by the Ceruto family for probably 30 years or so. And we have had discussions with this administration and even prior administrations regarding some development on this site. At one point, there was talk about possibly developing this property for some residential use. We probably could have developed about 150 to 200 residential units, but based upon some concerns that the administration had, some issues with the site, it was determined that that's really not a good use for this property, and it would be too much of a high-intensity use. So what we're requesting now is an amendment to this plan. As you know, the property is in the Economic Development Opportunity Zone. What we're proposing is very light industrial flex space, which can be utilized by contractors, small commercial businesses, possible recreation uses as well. We have met with your planning staff, and initially we were proposing one building on this site, but based on discussions with them, we are looking to build two buildings, very modest size flex buildings. One is approximately 46,000 square feet. The other one is about 65,000 square feet. Roughly 51% of this property will remain as green space, which is well in excess of the lot coverage requirements. The access will be from Jake Brown Road and also from Route 516. We met with the County of Middlesex maybe about a year and a half ago about this project. They had suggested that we have only a right turn in and a right turn out of this project on Route 516, and we've designed the project to do so. We have also been appointed as the designated conditional redeveloper of this site by the Old Bridge Redevelopment Agency. Our last reappointment, I think, occurred back earlier this summer. And as some of you may recall, I think all of you probably recall, back in 2025, this council referred this site to the planning board as an area in need of redevelopment. And in fact, your planning board did agree that it was an area in redevelopment after conducting a hearing. And in fact, in 2025 as well, this council accepted the findings of the planning board that this was an area in redevelopment, and also thereby expanding an amendment possibly to the Menino Park redevelopment plan. We're surrounded by Blonder Tongue. We're also surrounded by a larger industrial and warehouse project over by Route 9 and Jake Brown Road. And we also received DCA approval for this expansion on the redevelopment area. So with that said, and I don't want to talk too much more because I've probably spoken too much already, I do have my professional planner here for the project, Mr. Mark Remsa, just going to do a brief PowerPoint presentation as to what's being proposed, and certainly we can answer any questions.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Madam President and council members and Mayor Walker, also members of the public. I have a brief presentation. What's on the screen right now, it's difficult to see the red area, but the expansion of the Menino Park redevelopment area includes that red area, that's Blonder Tongue, and then the property we're talking about tonight is the area in oh, okay, thanks. The area we're talking about tonight is the one that's outlined in yellow.
You can take it off if you want.
Okay. Yeah, so the entire amendment includes the red dashed area, that's the Blonder Tongue property, but the property we're talking about tonight is the area outlined in yellow. Larry stole a little bit of my thunder with the background. This just shows the process of getting the redevelopment area expanded to include this property and the Blonder Tongue property. Also, this slide shows the redevelopment area outlined colored in blue, but what you can see to the west and north is the Menino Park, that's in green. The white area farther north, those are vacant properties. To the east is the orange area, that's existing multifamily housing. The red connotes the existing commercial properties. And then farther away are the single-family homes that are in the area. As Larry said, this is in the EDO Economic Development Opportunity Zone -1, which means that the minimum lot size has to be 1 acre. And this is just a blow-up of the property itself. As you can see, it's mostly wooded, and there is an existing cellular tower located on the property. But for the most part, it's nicely wooded. and then it's even more heavily wooded as you get into Mamino Park. So, what are the changes under this redevelopment plan? First off, all of the EDO 1 zone permitted uses are retained. Nothing's been changed. Now, because the property is rather large, and the EDO zone primarily deals with lots that are around 1 acre, 1.5 acres, this particular property is unusual for the EDO 1 zone. Also, EDO 1 zone properties are meant to have really good visibility from the roadways. This property has very poor visibility. As you can see, most of the developable area, which we'll get into a concept plan, is on lot 9.11. It's farther away. So it makes it more difficult to develop with the typical EDO 1 commercial type of development. So because of these unique characteristics of the property is really more suitable for, as Larry said, flexible light industrial facilities. Also, the standard warehouse. Now, your ordinance doesn't define warehouse, and warehouses cover a broad variety of types. A lot of them we know about the fulfillment centers that have the high velocity of traffic, lots of truck traffic and so forth. But the old-fashioned, standard, conventional warehouse, the smaller ones, the velocity of movement of goods is very low. Traffic generation is very low. The number of employees is relatively low. And so this property is well suited for these types of light industrial uses that are much lower in intensity. Also, it includes the ability to have professional scientific research and manufacture, very similar to what Blonder Tongue does, and also the assembly of products that come from pre-finished goods. That means there's no chemical reactions taking place, no heavy industrial activity that involves changing the characteristic of products. It's basically assembling and putting things together. So in terms of the bulk standards are important because they describe how the property can be developed. So in essence, all the yard area and bulk requirements for the EDO 1 zone, they all remain the same. And what's been changed, though, is because this property is a little bit different, it's larger. So we say instead of the 1 acre requirement, 5 acres at minimum is required. So that's a change in the EDO 1 zone. And the front yard has to be 50 feet along the major highways. As you can see in the EDO 1 zone, 15 feet is the setback. So this is setting the stage for a different type of development, but will be much farther away from the visibility from the roadway. And also the building height, because light industrial uses are typically taller, but the EDO zone only allows for 30-foot high buildings. In this case, it would be 40 feet, but 40 feet set much farther back. And the buffers, we maintain all the buffers that are in the EDO 1 zone, and also they still have to comply with the ordinance provisions for buffer design. And in addition, it requires the loading and parking to comply with your ordinance, no deviation, but also says that we have to have sidewalks because this is an EDO 1 zone area. As you can see, there are lots of different residents around, and so some employees may actually walk to work, so we need to have the sidewalks. And then the design standards for the buildings, we want to ingrain into the redevelopment plan, avoiding solid monotonous walls, provide fenestration, which is a fancy term for windows, provide them in the upper portion of the walls so that it doesn't look like a monotonous massive wall. Also dealing with the colors of the building, they need to be attractive, and also provide bicycle racks and also decorative lighting. So these are the kinds of features to improve the aesthetics of the redevelopment plan. Now here's a concept where Larry was talking about 51% of it being open. That's the green area. 51% in this concept shows that about half of the property will be maintained in wooded or landscaped condition. And the tan areas are the two buildings, and all of the loading will happen between the two buildings, so the public will not see the loading. And then surrounding the property is where the parking would occur. So that, in essence, is the summary of the redevelopment plan, the significant changes, which I find not so significant, but it's really tailored to this property because the property is different and unique than what's typically found in the EDO 1 zone. So I welcome any questions from folks.
Is it possible for you guys to put a sidewalk into Menino 516 West? Because you have that dead area between the tire place. Because I know there's a lot of concern from parents in Whispering Pines because of, the kids going to the park. You know that area I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure we could probably make that consideration here. Yeah, I mean, I know, first of all, I think most of the green area is abutting Menino Park, and certainly I think that can be accomplished.
That's a yes.
That's a yes.
So when this proceeds into site plan, absolutely, those are the kinds of things that we want to have consideration of including in the site plan.
Okay, can you tell me, since it's all wooded at this time, what is the criteria to consider it redevelopment?
Well, that was already a determination made by the planning board back in 2025, which the council adopted. I mean, I'm sure your attorney could tell you what the local redevelopment law is, but a lot of it has to do, and usually you do see redevelopment with, with older sites that have already been developed. But there are situations where you would see this on a track that just qualifies for the, the criteria under redevelopment.
Okay. And I might have missed it, but what was the exact reason that you had to come before the council? I know you're changing your plan.
For this
and it
evening?
Requires you to come here, but what exactly was it?
It was a request of your planning staff and a request of the administration. At this, obviously, after we make this presentation, I'm sure Mr. Roselli will tell you what the next move would be, or that has to accomplish here. I think ultimately, an ordinance has to be prepared, amending the Menino Park redevelopment plan. That'll have to go back to your planning board to determine that it's consistent with your master plan, and then it could proceed forward.
So exactly what was it that brought you here today?
A request by the administration and planning staff.
That must be you, Vina.
So I'll just back up and then Vina can follow up. That's why I had asked Vina. I knew she'd have to come here, do some splaining. So basically, if you go back, so the area, Menino Park, there's a redevelopment area already, Menino Park redevelopment area. Back in 2025, the planning board, God bless you, was asked to undertake a study to determine if not just these particular lots, but the other ones that were in red that Mr. Remsa outlined, whether or not, and that was, if you remember, what's the name of that building?
Blanchard.
One of the former CEOs came from the council, said, the company went bankrupt, and that facility hasn't been upgraded in a while. So long story short, the planning board, which the redevelopment process, how it goes is, request comes from council to the planning board to do a study to determine whether an area qualifies for an area redevelopment. Planning board then conducts, Vina does a study, She has a public hearing. The planner, I should say, the township planner conducts a study, has a public hearing, and that particular hearing for this particular area, planning board determined that it met the required criterion as an area in need of redevelopment. On redevelopment law, I believe there's 8 or 9 criteria, which 8 or 9? Nine. That the law statute says if you meet any one of these criterion, then that's enough to say that yes, this area meets the requirements of an area in need of redevelopment. Now, your point relative to, well, it's wooded and hasn't been developed. Well, that's one of the criteria. If you have a piece of property that's sat undeveloped for a large number of years, and this has the EDO1 zone was a change from a prior zone. So even though different zonings were applied to this particular property, it hasn't been redeveloped. And I don't remember all the criteria. Vina might be able to explain, but it says that, hey, this meets the requirement. So then the planning board then makes a recommendation for the council that it can be designated as an area in need of redevelopment, which was done. Then ultimately, the council adopted a resolution saying, yes, we agree, this area meets the criteria of an area in need of redevelopment, and so therefore the Menino Park redevelopment area was amended to include these 3 lots. So that's how we got to that point.
Okay, I understand that.
Then-
But what's frightening
Yes.
is that most of Old Bridge falls under that.
Yeah, but it depends on where it's located, right? So you have a piece of property that's along Route 516, right? It's a heavily traveled area, and there's a lot of commercial development. And then you have like you saw, that was a manufacturing facility, that existed for Block 8 for many number of years. So that's, so that was there. This front piece, again, the Ceruto family for a number of years is tried to develop that weren't successful. There's actually an approval for where's the
Right behind Block 9,000.
residential development going?
There's a warehouse
Not
going.
Ordinances. So can I jump in?
Yeah.
So with this area, right, it abuts Segmay's redevelopment plan. The Blunder and Tongue property owner, as well as Mr. Ceruto, had reached out to the Old Bridge Redevelopment Agency because this parcel has been vacant for many, many years. Under redevelopment law criteria C, if there is a private or publicly owned parcel that has remained vacant for more than 10 years, then it qualifies for redevelopment. In this case, especially these 2 parcels, it was way before my time, but there was an application filed in front of the zoning board which was denied. The developer has tried to develop the property for multiple uses, and it didn't really go through anywhere. I know Blunder and Tongue is also interested in redeveloping their site. And this is our opportunity because the properties will get developed, but this is our opportunity to work with developers, get the infrastructure improvements that we have been wanting. Because if you recall, as part of the master plan, the circulation plan, the township has been trying for many, many years to get a connection from Jake Brown Road South onto White Oak Lane. Right behind these 2 parcels in yellow is a triangular, not a triangular, it's like almost bent, but there is a parcel called Northwood Manors. Right now they are in front of the zoning board only for their site plan, but they are part of our previous round affordable housing obligation. So they got an approval 10 years ago for the use variance. However, their site plan has expired. All the, I think the LOI, they had to go back to DEP. So now they're coming back to the zoning board. It's only with the zoning board so that they retain jurisdiction and there is continuity. But that is another project. They are supposed to build the roadway along the frontage because right now, Jake Brown Road South terminates where the gun club entrance is, and there is no direct connection to White Oak Lane. So when I was working with the SEGME project, I had required them at the public hearing to construct the road to connect where Northwood Manor was going to stop. Northwood Manor is supposed to develop their frontage. Now, with Blonder and Tongue and the Ceruto properties being developed, there is a possibility to widen the roadway and get the improvements because they would be paying into the transportation pro rata share. So having sidewalk connections, having that road connected is quite important, and it's consistent with our master plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that's not, yeah, it's not part of this discussion.
You actually stole my thunder because that was the exact question I was just going to ask. I mean, was there a traffic study done? Because like I said, I don't know because I wasn't on the council when this was all going on. I have some concerns because that area is very congested and I have some concerns about that.
Yeah, I can answer that. I mean, traffic, yeah, we haven't fully engineered this project at this particular time. That'll occur. There will be an in-depth traffic study done. I will tell you that we did provide some traffic information to Middlesex County because one of the concerns was Middlesex County did not want to see a left turn out of this site, you know, going towards the east. And that's their recommendation was that it only be a right turn in and right turn out. But a full traffic study will be provided if you know when it goes forward.
Yeah, it's some quick question. It was interesting because you mentioned light traffic. What does that actually mean?
Light traffic, I mean, one of the warehouses is 45,000 square feet. The other warehouse is 65,000 square feet. We do not expect that this will generate a significant amount of traffic. We don't expect that it'll generate tractor trailers coming in and out of the site. These are smaller companies, small contractors. You know, we don't expect this to be a very high-intensity traffic situation. I mean, certainly if it was developed for residential purposes, you would have significant traffic here.
But without a traffic study, right? How do you know if it's light traffic or heavy?
Well, that's not, at this particular point, we would have to go to the planning board, and we would have to obviously seek site plan approval.
Right.
And at that point in time, we would produce the traffic studies.
Also, one other question.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have because you mentioned it before, you're going to make it look nice. So if it goes, doesn't look like a barrack, right? Do you have a picture of kind of what it would look like for us and the residents, or you kind of, because you said it's with the lighting and it's going to be really kind of,
Again, that would be something that we would, you know, obviously provide to the planning board. We'd have to provide them with elevations.
Okay.
We'd have to provide them with floor plans. Yeah, but certainly, you know,
know
we're not
Chrissy has
looking to
mentioned,
build.
yeah.
We're not looking to build a monolithic.
No, understood. We just, you know what it is, because it said, there was a couple of things in there that said how it was going to kind of look, but I didn't see a picture, so I wanted the residents to see it as well.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've learned that the old style of the warehouse buildings that were just big walls, like you said, looks like a barrack or a fortress, actually, right? So we've learned over the years, if you put the strips of windows along the top of the building, it doesn't have that appearance of that heavy wall look. And also, we've learned that when you use the different colors, especially the earth tones and things like that, and you have them painted in different colors, not just one solid color, it does give the appearance of a lighter look of the wall. So those are the things that I've learned over my 47 years doing planning. I said, that needs to be in this plan. That needs to be in there so it doesn't look like that barrack or
Yeah, because right there by Baker Boy, there's a lot of accidents over there, just so you know. I mean, you'll look at it when you see it. You just got to look into it. It's a bit of a train wreck. So
yeah, we're going to end up having to do this traffic study not only for Old Bridge Planning Board, but we're also going to have to do it for the county.
Okay, all right, great, thanks.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Yep.
So ideally, it's not going to be tractor trailers. Okay, so that's a good thing. Then you said you spoke to the county and they said you can go out right onto 516. But ideally, if Jake Brown Road and White Oak Lane get done, which it should be because that's the main thing that would work for everybody, you'll go out that way. You won't even be on 516. Okay.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Right.
That master plan road
Right.
is genius because most of all the traffic's going to want to go toward Route 9.
And that's what you're aiming for, too.
Absolutely.
And you'll work together with the other developers in that area that contribute to this area that will get done. Okay.
Yes.
So that's very good. The other thing that I had to ask, the things that are in that area, I know, one, like, I'm glad you're leaving as much open space that you are, but also near there, the things that are near there are the funeral parlor and then Whispering Pines, I think, is near there. And any conversations with either of your neighbors?
Yeah, actually, I think a few years ago, we did meet with the board of Whispering Pines. I know Mr. Ceruto met with them. They did not want to see any residential use over there. They were very concerned about traffic impacts on this. They have not had an issue with this as far as we know. And in terms of the funeral home, I know that the funeral home does have a parking problem. We've had some informal discussions with them, not recently, but maybe about 2 years ago, about perhaps providing some arrangement on our property, maybe on weekends and other times as well.
And also, if the road does get done, before, obviously, this is built with Jake Brown Road and Oak Brown Road, you will not need an entrance on 516. You will be able to maybe do it off of White Oak Road and
Yes.
then go in that way. And that would be an ideal thing, too, also, that would make it flow better, too. So from the road, 516, we won't even know that this is here.
That's a good, yeah.
And that would be the best thing for the area. Okay, so those are some of the things that I know are a concern for everybody. And you said most likely it would be like a company that's either a plumbing company or HVAC that has stored like their equipment there. And
The tradesmen.
the tradesmen come in and get their stuff in the morning and then leave.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Vina can probably echo this. That's why one of the requests and concerns was not having one big building. Obviously, by splitting it up, I mean, a 45,000 square foot building is not a large warehouse building. Same thing with the 65,000. So that would attract, multiple smaller tenants, exactly. And by the way, just, there is not a fulfillment center in the world that would ever go into a 45,000 or 65,000 square foot building.
Right.
And we're not designing it in that fashion, so.
Right. And then also with the loading docks. So they're going to be between the two buildings, and you won't see them. They're not those big massive ones. They're really just to get things flowing onto the truck and that. It's not, okay. All right. I think that's all. If I think of something else, I'll ask you. Thank you.
Well, I think a couple things. Obviously, I think the intent from planning staff's perspective was to have traditionally what has occurred, plans drafted by the planning staff and then presented because the end user's already known and there's been discussion with the redeveloper. This one's a little different in that the redeveloper was asked to put together a plan for you all to consider. And I think the idea was to get feedback from council because it's not a finished product. I think that Vina would have to, hearing your comments and some of the concerns, notably relative to ingress, egress, traffic, types of uses. I don't know if Vina, you had an opportunity to digest the plan. I think the next step would be is to have, again, hearing these comments, the concerns about traffic, knowing where the draft plan could be tightened up. There are some things that I know in some plans relative to traffic studies, the requirements, those can be put right into the plan. And depending on the timing of where they are, both before and after approval. And then, again, working on and reviewing, the draft. It was proffered by Mr. Remsa, who drafted it, and which is, again, permitted under redevelopment law. I think the next step would be is take the comments or questions that you all had, allow for Vina and myself to review it as well, and to work with the planner to see what changes I think that we would like to see, we being the township, and to see if we can further refine the plan before it comes back. Because ultimately, what has to happen is that Mr. Sachs had referenced it, that you need to adopt it. It has to be the ordinance. This ultimately would become the, whether we do probably an overlay versus a change, this will become the zone, how it could be developed. So I think this is just the first step. I don't know that I would recommend at this point that you move forward. I think Vina and Nicole and myself need an opportunity to further review the plan to get comments back. And then once that's done, then we can have them come back and do another presentation to show the differences. And then if everybody's comfortable at that point, then again, it would be introduced, it's referred to the planning board, and then there's ultimately a public hearing on the ordinance. I think that would, to me, would seem to be the best course to take.
Yeah, it's a good first step, I think, in getting this in motion, so to speak. And I really do like to defer to our professionals because they have a lot of good, comments and a lot of things that they want to review as well, Nicole.
I guess from the redeveloper's perspective, they wanted to know if this is DOA.
Right.
Right. I mean, if you're going to say, the use is being proposed, but I think from their perspective, I think it would be fair if council feels, hey, there's no way in heck that this type of development, I think.
Well, the site's going to be developed. The question really is what's going to go there.
That's right. And again, my perspective from redevelopment always, like for instance, the questions on what the warehouses are going to look like. Well, with the redevelopment plan, we can tell them what the warehouse are going to look like, right? You can pick colors and you can pick whatever, right? You can be specific. With respect to the timing of the development and the improvements for the infrastructure, right? We can build that into the plan. Again, you can be very specific with redevelopment relative to regular zoning where, here it is and somebody builds it. And people talked about traffic. You're right. I mean, the idea is to, when Jake Brown Road is completed, it's to take traffic off of 516. And that's been a long-term goal of this town, certainly before I got here, and for many, many years. And this is the closest it's come to that happening. And most of it being not on the township's dime. To date, none of it would be, right? So that again, is another benefit to this type of process and this type of project, and to control. Because, right, at some point, again, the developer tried to do, there were other applications. At some point, they could always come in and try to build what's on EDO 1. This allows the town to continue to control the process, control what goes there, how it looks, control the traffic flows a lot better than if it was just a regular application.
Right.
I appreciate you coming forward, and, when you say flex space, one thing that I'm always asked about in town is to have an indoor sports facility, basketball, volleyball, pickleball.
Yeah, we obviously would love to see that as well. So I think that's one of the permitted uses that would be provided, so.
Yes, we actually.
Texas Road.
There's another.
Texas Road.
There is one on Texas Road. We recently wrote an ordinance. I think it was 3 years ago. It was approved by the planning board. And yes, and originally when the developer had reached out to me, I had told him that this is an ideal location for an indoor sportsplex. But at that time, they wanted flexibility. So we created a zone which allows flex space so they could have electricians or carpenters who could store. Fortunately, they were able to get tenants for indoor. So there is going to be an indoor pickleball court, indoor golf, and one more. What's that? bocce, I think, indoor. Squash. But it is an indoor gym on Texas Road, which was approved by the planning board and is constructed. It is total 72,000 square feet. Total, 2 buildings, 36,000 each. And in fact, they're coming back because their original approval had truck parking and loading area. They're coming back in front of the planning board to amend the plan so that they can have more passenger car parking. Little bit larger. And I think Mr. Piscati asked this question, that when the EDO1 zone already allows the use, why the need for redevelopment plan, right? I want to answer that because EDO1 zone, like Mark said, was tailor-made for 1 acre parcels. The problem with EDO1 is it does not contemplate larger lots, so it limits the building size, and that is precisely why they're here, because it allows flex space, it allows health and fitness centers, but it limits it to 15,000 square feet and 10,000 square feet respectively. So in which case, the zoning officer, myself, we have been interpreting that, no, we don't want a larger building. The whole purpose of writing EDO1 was to limit and have neighborhood commercial type of uses. So when somebody wants to propose a larger than 10,000 or 15,000 square feet facility, they have to go to the zoning board. This way, we have better control on the design, and we can work with the redeveloper to get any off-site improvements that we would want.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you, Council President. Thank you. And we'll be meeting with your staff and with Mr.
Absolutely,
Roselli.
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
That's the first, thank you. Okay, all right, good evening. Okay, next will be discussion item, creating a resolution to send to Governor Sherrill in reference to school funding. Councilman Merwin.
Let me get it back up here on my computer here. No, I got it here. No. We had myself, Councilman Desai, and Chairman of the Democratic Party had drafted a letter and sent that on to Governor Sherrill in reference to the school funding, and that it's not fair. And I would give you the highlights of it if it would come up here. But I think it pretty much touched upon what the Assemblyman came up with. I put his
S2.
in here. Hold on one second. Yeah, here we go. You know, when they're creating a new funding formula, that no doubt, Old Bridge got screwed. Right? Governor Murphy eviscerated us. Right? He's no longer the governor. So we need to know, you know, they have a school funding formula that they can't explain to us. So, you know, and one of Assemblyman Zawicki's thing is creating a new funding, formula funding commission. And then he's got a couple of other ones for extraordinary aids and special ed. But these are the things. We need a fair, equitable funding formula that would benefit the Township of Old Bridge. And I think that we should draft the resolution. You don't have to draft it in support of my letter. I don't care. You know, we need to draft a resolution, you know, requesting that we go along these routes of the funding formula and go from there. You know, we need money in Old Bridge. Our taxpayers are getting whacked. And that's all it is we got to get the money back in Old Bridge where it belongs. And that's it.
But if I don't mind me saying, Dave, the thing is that I did make those calls. And you know what it is? There is no transparency. You're right, zero. It's fuzzy, no formula, nothing. So if we talk about the state, I don't think anybody wants to be run by the state. It's an absolute train wreck. We're last in fiscal responsibility. We're getting taxed out of the state consistently, and they don't even have the common sense to say, hey, this is the funding formula for Old Bridge. I think you deserve it. I think we deserve it. And if we make a phone call, they need to answer. It's not rocket science. They know the funding formula. They're the ones that are doing it. They know exactly what they're spending. They know where it goes, how it happens, and what they do. They just don't want to tell us. And for the gentleman that said $32,000, we get $3,100. People in Old Bridge are taxed out. I live here 22 years. We do our best with the money that we receive. But can you imagine if they were actually fiscally responsible with our tax dollars, Dave? We would all be in way better shape. We're the last in the nation. It's an absolute disgrace, and it's astounding to me that we let children suffer because of money. It should disturb your souls. We're all in this together. It's disgusting. And we get, Anna, we get 15 cents on the dollar. Am I correct? 15 cents on the dollar. We got to run a town and then give more money, then make 10 cents on the dollar? What are we going to cut? The police department? We're going to cut Parks and Rec? No way. We want to keep this town safe. We're squeezing lemons. And they don't care, ladies and gentlemen, at all. Because if they did, they would help us out and be better spending our tax dollars. Because the most important people here are the residents, ladies and gentlemen, all of us, together as one. It's astounding to me at times that they can't even answer a common sense question. Hey, can you send me the funding formula for the schools? It's funny, Councilman Asatuli. Is that how you're going to treat us? It's we the people first. And then you come next. We don't work for you. You're supposed to work for us. It's our hard-earned money. And I get so upset about it because we blame it, we hearsay all the time, and we know where it's coming from, and they can't even explain it. This is a beautiful town. Help us out a little bit. A little bit.
So we can all sit here and play the Sophie Cunningham game and blame everybody, or we can work together and go to the state.
Can I go real quick? No. I agree with you. I think we do need to work together. I would hope that the residents would also come together no matter what party you are. We've had this discussion before about certain funding plans and whatnot, and I called upon both sides to work together on this. And what happened? I was personally attacked on social media, like personally attacked for wanting to work together. So I really hope that the residents take it seriously and that we do come together. That's all I got to say.
We have been talking about this for 8 years, since this started. We have not been silent at all. It falls on deaf ears because we embrace you to say things, and that's why we encourage you to write a letter, okay? I don't know whether you got a response or not, but, it's sad when you look at the numbers 8 years later, the impact that it's had on every residence. We've tried our best with public service announcements. Every time we have the budget meetings, we discuss this ad nauseum. We talk about it in the tax bill. This has gone on. So today, it came on Shore News Network, your letter. I don't know whether you saw that post. I hope you do get a response, and if you do, you share it with us. But it's not only one entity. I believe if every resident complaining to us, we listen to you, we hear you, we feel you. We're complaining also, nonstop. Every resident should write a letter to the governor that this is unfair, that you live in New Jersey, you're raising your families here, you're working, you're paying taxes, and this is not acceptable because the amount of taxes that we raised back, do you think it's going down next year? Do you think it's going back? It's non-sustainable. The excess of New Jersey, look at the numbers. It speaks for itself. That's why I say you got to look at the whole picture. Look what's going on with businesses. Look how they're destroying the state with this overdevelopment. How is any of this? They have to look at things entirely, the whole state, and work together. And this is really sad. I've lived here all my life in New Jersey, and then they're really destroying the state. And I can tell you when it happened, and no one wants to understand. So I appreciate the letter that was written. I hope if you get a response, you share it with us. But look at Short News Network. They're talking about your letter, and hopefully we get a good answer and we get results. The main thing is getting results. I spoke many times, whether it was Senator Henry, whether it was Assemblyman Sawicki or Clifton that spoke on our behalf and spoke, you heard him tonight speaking about all the districts, but not only that, going to the Board of Ed. Listen, I feel bad for the new superintendent that came in and what he's dealing with, but this is going on and we've talked about it for years. It's strange how before there was a cap and if you went above the cap, but then also the Board of Ed, they borrowed more than $5 million. With your house, do you keep on borrowing money on your business? You go into a hole. You can't do that, and it's affecting us all. So please, everyone, reach out to the governor. This is not acceptable. Thank you.
See, my feeling that this is not an issue for Republican or Democrat. This is a bipartisan issue. This issue not only affects Democrat or Republican, but also unaffiliated. So this kind of issue, we all should come together and push for it so we can reduce the burden of the school board tax to our population. And my feeling is, and that is why we started this letter. Councilman Marvin and our party chair, we wrote a letter to governor. We just sent it out just 2 weeks ago. So we are waiting for reply. Otherwise, we are going to contact again and see where we can. But if council can adopt the resolution and we all come together, ultimately our goal is the same. Republican or Democrat, everybody goal how to reduce the burden of tax to our citizen. And that's what we have to fight for. Thank you.
Can I just add one more thing?
Okay, thank you. There's a problem, obviously, and it's not just money. And money, giving the school system more money might help them in their budget, but it's not going to help the real problem. The real problem is that our children aren't being educated. If you look at Newark, aid per student is $32,000 from the state. In Old Bridge, the aid is $3,100, okay? And if you look at the learning standards, in Old Bridge is much higher than Newark. And now, yeah, it has a little bit to do with parental involvement, has nothing to do with the teachers. It's all administration. And if we really want to get to solve this, we'll stop looking at just the money and look at it as a whole problem that needs to be solved. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, just real quick. I know you guys talked about, coming together as Republicans and Democrats, and why don't we all draft a letter together? We don't have to go through policy. I know there's a big difference with how we go about it, but let's just do a letter together. Simple, general letter, doesn't need to go through policy and whatnot.
Well, no, right, from the council, absolutely. No, absolutely. And somehow this was a really good conversation, because traditionally, it's always kind of the Board of Ed and then the town. And then, who's getting how to get more, how to do this from each other, rather than having it together and just saying, as a township, Board of Ed and the township, we are asking the state to please take a second look at us, that we are drowning with not having enough to make ends meet, so to speak, for anything anymore. And that is really sad, because tonight we had a room full of police officers, all of them and first responders, that won awards. This town is a wonderful place to live. And I think if we can come together and try to get the attention of the state in a positive way, not in a finger-pointing way, like you said, just in a positive way. Because if we don't move forward together, we're fractured, and that's not what a town should be. Not a beautiful town like this. I mean that. And we all love our children. We all love our seniors. There are so many facets here of how this affordability has run away from us. And whether you have children in school, and that's a struggle, and then you're a senior, and that's a struggle. It's too much. We are really buckling under this burden. And if we don't do something together, then shame on us, because that should be the absolute number one priority, our town and our families. So I think, yes. Yeah.
We have the business administrator and her staff. We keep the politics out of it. Let them draft a letter up. And we go from there. And I will personally call, I don't know who you spoke to, but I will call the governor's office tomorrow, find out where the hell my response is. And yeah.
I actually called Gopal's office.
And
where?
Gopal.
I'm going to let the mayor speak as well. But, and also maybe we could reach out to the Board of Ed, to, Superintendent Sasso and the board members, share our thoughts of what happened this evening, and see if they would like to also, along with us or themselves, do something as well, just reaching out for this support. I really think it's important. Okay, Mayor?
Yes, this isn't a Republican, Democrat, or independent issue. This is an issue for all of us. It's affecting all of us. And I think it's important that we all come together. But I think the people, just not a letter from us, I think if you can get as many people as you know to write letters, not only to the governor, to your legislatures, you have to let them know that this is not acceptable anymore. It's getting to the point where people are going to have to move. They can't afford to live here anymore. I know personally my taxes are up $2,000. It's becoming unaffordable. So I am working on a letter right now, and I'm going to see if I can get other mayors to sign on with me as well. And I'm hoping Democrats, Republicans, Independents will all sign on with me, because I think that the governor legislature has to know that this is not acceptable anymore. They're really hurting so many people, seniors, and also they're indirectly hurting children, because when you're taking money away from the parents, now you have less money, right, to feed your family and things like that. So please have all your friends write letters too, because if you really inundate them with letters, everyone, even in other towns, because this happened all over the state. It's not just happening in Old Bridge. It's happening in suburban communities. That's what's happening. So please listen and write to the legislator and the governor, and I'm going to write a letter as well.
All right, anyone else? Are we good? Everybody's good? Okay, very good. So then we will ask, please, if we could get that together. And I know knowing you'll go home tonight, because you're on it. You are just wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. Letter. No, we're good. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay, so next will be, our next discussion item is speed bumps. Councilman Rizzoli.
Thank you. What speed bumps? Some people go by speed humps. I just want to get into that they are permitted. New Jersey does permit speed bumps on 2-lane and 1-lane residential streets under local jurisdiction, restricted to roadways with a posted speed limit of 30 miles an hour or less. For those who are interested, it's covered in Title 39, 4-8.9 through 4-8.11. So when I search other cities that are using them, we'll get to Jersey City, a dense city, and they used a program called Vision Zero Action Plan. Now, the goal of that plan is to eliminate traffic-related fatalities and severe injuries. They have installed hundreds of speed bumps throughout the city. This is a city with fire apparatus, police cars, specialized police vehicles, EMS, e-bikes, regular bicycles, taxi cabs, you name it, it's on the roads there. So I don't think there's any reason why that Old Bridge, we can put them in certain areas where they're needed to slow people down, because that's the goal. When I'm looking at the Vision Zero Action Plan, the goal of the speed bump is to reduce speeds throughout the municipalities. So I think it's something we should do. I mean, everybody has an area of which we could put the speed bumps, slow people down. So I think that's something we should do. I know there's a lot of debate about it, but the fact of the matter is, if we're purchasing fire apparatus that can't go over a speed bump, then we need to, address that, which I don't think is the problem. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else on this side? Mr. Desai?
See, I recall before couple of years, fire department, fire marshal came out and said that we should have no speed bump in any neighborhood. But let me tell you, Council President, they removed from one of my area development, brand new. And right now, if you go to New ShopRite shopping center, there is speed bump. So why the policy is two-way policy?
It is.
No, but that should be addressed by the fire department. Why? Residential, where is the more safety concern? You have speed bump in Greens, I think near Target. So we should ask the fire department and our building department, why this is so? You removed from residential area where children are playing all the time. And you did not, and you allow the shopping center, commercial people to speed bump. So my request to check out why that happened.
Just so you know, I was in a residential development that they removed them as well. So it wasn't.
No, I understand.
They went around evenly. You can, there's someone here in the back that can testify to that. But anyway, yes, I see what you're saying.
Because in my development, we have a children's play park. That's why we put the speed hump there, not bump. We had originally big one. We removed it and make it so small, like a speed hump. And we had to remove and cost money. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Merwin?
For the attorney, Mark here is cited a state statute under Title 39. And there's also a statute under the fire code. Who's the boss?
So I recalled, and Mr. Desai mentioned it a few years back.
Yeah, he was
Right,
there.
there was a discussion relative to traffic calming devices, is probably the better terminology. And right, my understanding is right, there's a state statute, but the way the fire code is, it gives the fire official the ability to approve or not approve. That's the way to.
In a town where we have fire districts.
Correct.
If it's a town where you have a city fire department.
There's always going to be a fire official in any town, whether you have districts or not, because it's just one of the things that.
But traffic safety does come under the purview of the police department, not the fire department.
No, I get that.
No, I understand the whole thing with the fire, but traffic safety is the responsibility of
I didn't write the
PD.
fire code.
No, I'm you sure you didn't?
Yeah, right. It's just the way it is. But I remember at that time. Yeah, there was a lot of discussion by all the different departments relative to that. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? So you have that, but the way that the fire code is drafted, it gives the fire official in the municipality basically the final say to whether or not, they should have them. Don't ask me why, but.
As usual.
Yes. So I was not in this current role in '22, but when the discussion of the speed bumps had came up on the agenda, I did recall at the time these conversations because I was with OEM at the time. So I believe I pulled the meeting minutes from the October 11, 2022 meeting, when at the time the previous business administrator had all the two fire officials, Tommy Miller and Tommy Hart, as well as EMS director. Police department was present, Public Works, engineering. And the biggest concern that obviously they had was, and I don't want to misquote, was that it was a critical concern when responding to emergencies. And like Mark, our attorney, mentioned, it is in the fire code that traffic calming devices shall be prohibited unless approved by the fire code official. So at the time of this meeting, they had Tommy Miller and Tommy Hart came before council and explained their stance on it. And that was echoed by the director of EMS as well as the police department at the time, and also from the township perspective as far as snow plowing, upkeeping of roads, et cetera. So there was several things that were discussed. I can certainly have these individuals come before council to follow up, because I know that Councilman Merwin, Councilman Rizzoli, as well as a few others here on this council were not here at the time. So I can have them come back and reiterate their stance and why at the time this was the best decision for the town.
The other thing I want to add too is that even under the statute, it's not every municipal road that would qualify. There's certain restrictions, right? Yeah, and you have to do a study. Yeah.
I'm not advocating.
No, I'm saying right now, but I'm just saying that just for the public, right? There's the roads. You have to basically study, but there's only certain roads that would qualify for the traffic count, right? The number of traffic call, right? You have to do that. So it's not like you can apply it to every road. You couldn't. The statute that Councilman Rizzoli had referred to has limitations as to which roads will qualify.
And one of the things that I wanted to talk, I'm sorry, that I also wanted to bring up, and just to remind everybody, a couple meetings ago, we did present our our truck route proposal that we sent to the state. So Nicole's team has been on top of that. We sent it to the state. We're hopefully going to hear back, because one of the concerns that my office has gotten recently, as well as Nicole's office, is speeding of trucks in residential neighborhoods as well. And especially with some of the accidents we had on Route 9 due to the weather in the last few weeks, with a couple of vehicles hitting poles. So then it had to redirect specifically, unfortunately, onto Phillips Drive. Once that truck route map is approved and in place, that will not happen. So, and a lot of that speeding is there. Again, not saying that all speeding is caused by trucks, don't get me wrong, but I did want to bring that back up to remind everybody. But just let me know how you would like me to move forward on this speed bump discussion. Thank you.
Question, Councilman Rizzoli, real quick. Did any residents request this? No, I'm saying specifically for speed bumps.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was just asking. I just don't know.
Yeah. I want to, well, first off, taking the initiative for public safety, I don't need a resident to bring it up to me based on my observations. If you go sit by the field at Ticetown Road, by Lombardi, the people don't speed purposely. Let's face reality. I mean, sometimes people don't realize they're speeding, but people do speed there. And you have kids going in and out of the track teams. You have football players at the stadium. You have residents using it. If you watch down Throckmorton, just based on my observations. So I don't take any initiative of public safety. I don't need to wait for a resident based on my observation, because I had brought it up years ago when you weren't on the council either about it. And I think it's something that should be addressed. I don't know why our fire apparatus has an issue with it. When you got a major city like Jersey City, you have Newark, you have other municipalities that have it. So, that really, I don't know how they can justify it. And in the town of Jersey City, you have fire apparatus constantly on the move. It's not just police cars, it's specialized police vehicles that are also out there. You have EMS. So it's the same vehicle operating on the same black pavement, going over the same speed bump. So I don't know why Old Bridge has an issue with it.
Well, the other thing is that I know a lot of residents, I had experience with this with Nicole one time, where the residents didn't really want them in front of the house because it would shake the house, it would cause problems, it would make a lot of noise. And a lot of times when they wanted to do it, they were like, listen, maybe we could just put a sign on the bottom, like a 25-mile-an-hour sign on the ground, because so people can look at it instead of putting speed bumps next to a resident's house, because they did complain a lot about it. No one really wanted it right in front of their house. And I can speak about that because I was in Yardley, and I know Nicole's smiling, she knows, right, before I got on council, and we decided, right, the 25 miles an hour at the time, because the speed bumps, nobody wanted it in front of the house. That was the problem as well. So I'm just talking just from experience.
You're always going to have somebody that's not going to want them, but at the end of the day, safety comes before people's opinion. You know, you can put some in areas where it won't directly be in front of people's homes. There's ways to put them around. Okay. So I think safety has to come first over people's opinions.
And Mark, you made reference to, reference to there are certain criterias to meet. Is there any way for us to know that? I mean, because I think sometimes people might say, I'd like one, but the road may not meet the criteria anyway. I don't know.
Well, the statute,
There is like the amount of traffic on
Correct.
there. I think it's 3,000 or 4,000.
Right.
Yeah, it does. There is a traffic limit, but that's why I said we're not looking to overload the township. Like Phillips Drive, going down Throckmorton, we have to be realistic. We're not putting on these little, like, you know, where I live, there's no hardly, it's just the local traffic. I'm just main streets. Like Phillips Drive could definitely use. You have a school, plus you have the cut-throughs there. I mean, you have Throckmorton. There's a lot of areas where you need them. So I think we could do traffic studies to justify them, but we can be strategic with them. We don't have to load the town up, but I'm just using this as an example because the fact that they implemented to reduce injuries and traffic fatalities. Listen, this is something, you know, the Zero, I think also Hoboken and some other municipalities are doing it. So I think, you know, the concept is good. I just, you know, getting people to get on board to work with it. And also, let's face, some of these things are antiquated, right? So cars weren't as fast. I'm not saying, you know, when these ordinances were passed, I don't know, Mark, probably when you were in law school. But, so that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying load the town up with them.
Anybody else? Okay. Yes.
Actually, safety should be important for everybody. And taking that in considerations, you think the drivers would want to be safe. And that's where it starts. I mean, everyone, when they get their license, they have to take a written test. And then when you're driving, you know, in your own neighborhood, you want to be safe. So it's unfortunate there are irresponsible people all over the place, and we have to look for ways to make it safer. The police do their best. We're 42 square miles. You know, as far as you won't be in every area where you can get the speeders, but we know targeted areas that they work on all the time. So hopefully we come up with something that's satisfying to everybody, but it's unfortunate. It starts with the individual, and when you're not responsible for yourself, you really affect everyone else. And the people that are responsible always have to be at the peril of those who are not responsible. So I advise everyone follow traffic signs and follow the rules of what you got your license about. Thank you.
The enforcement areas. Was there a sunset on that? Is it no longer in it?
Yes, I've been talking to the chief because it did sunset on some of the roads, and I've been talking to the chief. We're identifying some areas that we want to bring it to the council and do it again, because it definitely needs to be done, especially like on Phillips Drive. We identified, with OEM, I've identified a few roads that we think needed. So I'll meet with the chief, we're going to come to.
Anybody else? Any? Good? Okay. So
would you like me to have fire marshal and different entities come and speak on this?
All right.
Yes?
All right. At least we can get a perspective.
I'll work on it for an upcoming meeting.
Yeah, can I also get something in writing? When they come in, I also want something to see something in writing, if they're against it, why?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll share that. That
Well,
I
it was a
believe
good
from
point
the
that you
minutes that I
weren't
had
here,
gotten
so
from the
this
last
way
meeting,
it,
that's what they did.
You know, bring
so.
everybody up to speed, yeah, absolutely. Oh, speed, no, can't say. Bring everybody up to par, not speed. Not,
Yes, the two fire officials,
Tommy Hart
EMS,
is not here
PD, basically the same group that we had at the time, and we'll let them speak on this again. And that way you'll be able to ask them those questions directly.
yeah, I was thinking Gary. Okay, so I think that makes sense. This way, there's that opportunity, and then Mr. Desai can ask his question he has as well. So that'll make sense. Okay, Anna, thank you very much.
Another point to follow up on what Councilman Rizzoli had stated regarding the statute. So the two criterion are the municipal road has to have a speed limit of 30 miles per hour or less and fewer than 3,000 vehicles per day.
3,000, right?
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah, 3,000.
All right,
So those were that's the
Parameters,
parameters,
okay.
the roads that would qualify.
All right, thank you.
39.
No, that's
the state
that's
will
under,
call.
yeah, it's 39-4:8.9, yep. Yes. The fire thing's still out there, but that's
Yeah. Okay, that's why it's good they'll come. That'll help. All right, next is ordinance of first reading. And we have FR1, ordinance amending Chapter 160, Article 1, entitled Recreation Fees. Do I have a motion?
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Second.
Second by Councilman Pasquitti. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli. Oh, okay, away from the dais.
Yes.
Councilman Desai? Yes? He said yes? Okay, Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin, yes?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Motion carries. A public hearing set for, yes, we have 5. A public hearing set for September 15th, 2026.
Okay, FR2, ordinance of the Township of Old Bridge amending 250 of the Code of the Township of Old Bridge entitled Old Bridge Land Development Ordinance by amending Article 7A, Inclusionary Housing Districts. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli, second by Councilman Asatuli. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
No.
Councilman Pasquitti?
No.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes, for first reading.
Still have 5. So
Yep.
public hearing set for September 15th, 2026.
FR3, ordinance amending the 2021 redevelopment plan, 200 Lawrence Parkway, former senior center. Do I have a motion?
Move it. Second.
Moved by Councilman Von Stetten, second by Councilman Pasquitti. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman Desai? No. Councilman Merwin?
No.
Councilman Pasquitti?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
And Council President Sohar?
Yes.
Okay, so it's public hearing set for September 15th, 2026.
Okay.
It has to be, yes, right. It has to refer to the planning board. Vina, the next planning board meeting? We're good for the 15th?
Okay. Yeah, both have to
two.
be referred to the planning board. Yep. Okay, next will be our consent agenda. I'll ask for a motion and second, and then take separations.
Moved by Councilman Rizzoli, second by Councilman Von Stetten. Councilman Asatuli, any items for separation?
No, thank you, Kate.
Councilman Desai?
No, thanks.
Councilman Merwin?
C1, C11,
C1 and C11?
C13.
C1, C11, and C13. Councilman Pasquitti?
No separations, thank you.
Councilman Rizzoli?
No separations, thank you.
Councilman Von Stetten?
No separations, thank you.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
No separations, thank you.
And Council President Sohar.
No, thank you.
So roll call on the balance of the consent agenda with the removal of C1, C11, and C13.
Yes.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Okay. Next will be C1, Councilman Merwin.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what the whole job was for, but the engineer was figuring that it was going to be like $1.7 million to $1.9 million. And we get contracts here for 1.4. That's a pretty big disparity. Just wondering why.
Nicole?
I'll have Nicole Shapiro, our Township Engineer and Director of Community Development, come up to speak on that.
Thank you, Ann.
Well, no, I don't.
Good evening, Mr. Shapiro.
I don't want a bunch of change orders either. That's it.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilman Merwin, for bringing up the question. You may recall last meeting, we were in front of you on the resolution to reject the last set of bids because it was above our budget. Now, the estimate that our architect or our mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers had put together is very arbitrary, right? It's very, I want to say, goes with the market, right? When we were putting together our cost estimate, there was a lot of moving pieces. For example, we could certainly approve a shop drawing today and probably not get these generators probably for a year. So a lot plays into that. It's a big generator project, and this company was the lowest bidder the last time we put it out to bid. We had about a $250,000 allowance because there's a lot of ambiguity when you're dealing with generators, and there's a lot of things that could come up. When we were over budget, what we did was we rebid the project and we just reduced the allowance on it. So it's within range of what we thought it was going to be, rather than the MEPs. Yeah, and we feel very confident with the contractors that had gotten the project. They are well aware of that. Yes. Thank you.
Anybody else has anything?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Shapiro.
Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes. Next will be C11, Councilman Merwin.
Yeah, there's two parts to this. Originally, there was a C11, a C12 for the same firm. One was on the 25 work, one was on the 26 work, but the 25 has been removed.
You want me, I can address that.
Yes,
Basically, what happened was 25 was removed because we wanted to make sure that we had the correct amount. There's a question relative to the invoices, making sure we had all the invoices in place. And we wanted to make sure we didn't want to have to come back again, that we have everything in place before we move on to 24. And basically, this particular contractor, vendor is our Affordable Housing Council. So it was sort of hard to predict what they'd have to, the cost of that contract. And as you know, as part of our affordable housing matter for this particular round, we had 8 objectors. So there's been a lot going on, plus the litigation that we're dealing with. So that's what that necessitated the increase in 26.
For the 15,000 more, right? Okay. Anybody has no questions, I'll move it.
Moved by Councilman Merwin, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call. Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin.
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli.
Yes.
And Council President Sohar.
Yes.
8 yeses.
Okay. Next will be C13, Councilman Merwin.
Yes, this is something that's probably long overdue, but do they need our permission to go on the telephone poles?
Yes, it's part of the, part of the statutory requirement because it's in our right-of-way. So it requires the municipality. We did this a few years ago. You may have been on. We did it for AT&T. And their GoNet speed is basically going to be utilizing existing poles for purposes of its high-speed internet, I believe, right? To use those poles and they'll be able to provide the residents in Old Bridge. But yes, the statute requires municipal consent because the existing poles are in townships right away.
We give them consent.
Correct.
Does Jersey Central or Verizon hold them hostage, or?
That's between them.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Do they still got to negotiate with them, or?
Yeah, that's they right. I don't think Verizon's going to say, hey, you have free space on our poles.
I didn't think so. If nobody else has any questions, I'll
I'd
move
like
it.
to say something. Yeah, this has been going on for a number of years, and a number of residents have called me and asked me, can we have some other competition other than Comcast, or Altice? And, it's a shame because they got a monopoly. So now we have a chance. These people are going to wire our town, and we'll have competition.
That's why I opened with,
competition.
It's long overdue.
Competition brings the price down and brings the quality up, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
What do you mean? It absolutely is true.
So
Absolutely.
we may
true.
have a new high-speed internet provider in
Well, in the
Old
future.
Bridge. I don't know.
In the
how
future.
We need it.
Wow.
It's on its way.
soon. It's on its way.
A representative of GoNet, Marilyn Davis, is in the audience, so she wanted to make sure we got adopted. She's been patient in bringing this to fruition.
Been a long time coming.
We had a
I'll
motion by
second.
Councilman Merwin, second by Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli. Roll call.
get no
Councilman Asatuli?
Yes.
Councilman Desai?
Yes.
Councilman Merwin?
Yes.
Councilman Pasquini?
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli?
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten?
Yes.
Council Vice President Dr. Greenberg Belli?
Yes.
Council President Sohar?
Yes.
8 yeses.
Thank you. You spent a long night. Report of the Township Clerk,
I have no report, Council President.
report of the Township
Nothing to
Attorney,
report, Madam President.
and now our administrative report. Anna?
Yes, thank you. Okay, Number one, representatives from JCP&L will be present at the Old Bridge Administration Building on Thursday, September 17th, from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. to assist with applications for the Universal Service Fund and provide information on various energy bill assistance programs. Assistance is available by appointment only. To schedule an appointment, please call the Senior Center at 732-721-5600, extension 6600. For Universal Service Fund Program inquiries, you can email njeaot@firstenergycorp.com or call the Senior Center. Additional energy assistance application events will also take place in Old Bridge on October 1st and October 15th. On Tuesday, September 15, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Senator Henry's office will host a New Jersey Division of Taxation in-person filing event for Form PAS-1 at Silver Linings at Old Bridge in collaboration with Assembly members Rob Clifton and Alex Suicki with the support of Mayor Debbie Walker. No appointment is necessary. This event is to assist residents with filing the 2025 Form PAS-1, which serves as the application for property tax relief for seniors and certain disability recipients. The PAS-1 form combines applications for the property tax reimbursement, known as Senior Freeze, Anchor, and Stay in New Jersey programs. For more information, please contact Silver Linings at 732-721-5600, extension 6600. As a reminder, the deadline for submitting the 2025 Form PAS-1 is November 2nd, 2026. The third quarter tax bill grace period has been extended until August 21st, 2026. The Township Division of Tax Collection will be open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the third quarter tax collection period. The last day to pay taxes without interest or penalties is August 21, 2026. Payment received after August 21, 2026 will accrue interest back to the statutory due date of August 1st. For additional information, residents should contact the Old Bridge Division of Tax Collection at 732-721-5600, extension 2999. On Thursday, August 13, 2026, Moody's Investor Services reaffirmed the Township of Old Bridge's very strong AA1 bond rating. The AA1 bond rating is the second highest rating assigned by Moody's is in the top 10% for municipalities both nationwide and in New Jersey. The excellent rating reflects the Township's large tax base, strong management, consistent financial operations, and modest debt burden. The Township's overall financial positions continues to strengthen each year. And finally, it is with much appreciation that we announce the retirement of 2 employees of the Old Bridge Township Police Department. Police Officer Stephen Connolly and Lieutenant Robert Mazalewski both retired effective July 31st, 2026, after 26 and 28 years of service, respectively. We extend our sincerest appreciation for their service, and we wish them all the best as they begin this well-deserved new chapter. And this concludes my report.
For anyone who has a question or a comment for Anna? Okay, Mr. Desai made a motion to accept.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Nope.
Report's accepted.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna. Next will be public comment on any subject matter for a maximum period of 3 minutes.
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. This section is open for any topic or items on the consent agenda. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Old Bridge Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Only one member of the public shall approach to speak to council at a time. The council will respect the public's time by refraining from any comment until the speaker has finished with their allotted time. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer session. If a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made by the corresponding department's office during regular business hours. Township clerk will regulate the time during the public comment portion of the meeting. As you approach the microphone, please state your name. We have a sheet up there for you to sign in.
There's no sheet.
Did you put the sheet? Sign your name for the record so we have proper spelling.
Sure.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Sally Kriegel, and I'm here tonight to formally request that the Old Bridge hold a town hall meeting in October with the Township Council, Planning Board, Zone and Zoning Board, and appropriate township officials. Many residents come to these meetings with questions and concerns, but too often, we feel leaving here dismissed and unheard. We are taxpayers, homeowners, and families who care deeply about what is happening with our town. We deserve clear answers. A few meetings ago, it was mentioned that approximately 40% of Old Bridge remained open space. What is the percentage today, especially with the projects such as Waterworks Road and all the other approved developments? We have also heard that more money is needed for open space and preservation. Residents deserve to know where the money is going and what is being done to protect the land that we still have. The continued development is becoming overwhelming. Traffic is already difficult. Our infrastructure is pushed. Schools are closing and are consolidating. Wildlife continues to lose its habitat as woods or areas disappear, and yet nobody seems to care. And I have to ask, when is enough enough? Is it when we have no open land left, or is it when we have no room for schools for our children to learn comfortably? It is our roads, or was it when our roads can no longer hold the infrastructure and the amount of people and the traffic that is being added? When is simply enough enough? It is not about a political party, it is not about what a political party belongs to. This should not be Republican versus Democrat, or in one side against another. It is about our community. This is about residents coming together as one, that we need to protect the Old Bridge before everything is gone. Many of us chose overage because the open land, and the sense of community. Residents were born here, raised here. Remember, this town was just a once peaceful town, but yet we have watched it disappear right before our eyes. That is why I'm asking for a real town hall meeting in October, not just a few minutes on the microphone, and the opportunity for residents to ask questions and receive the answers about the development, open space taxes, traffic infrastructure, schools, and future of our township. We're not asking for anything unreasonable. We are asking for transparency, communication, and accountability. Please give the residents the opportunity to come together, to be heard, and to receive the answers we deserve. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. My name is Beatrice Christ. I've been a resident here for 2 decades. I educated all my 3 children here. I have one who graduated from Old Bridge High School in 2017. I have one who is going into Brookdale Community College, and I have one who is a rising senior. Our school system has been impeccable. It's been phenomenal. I hold 2 master's degrees from this country. I think I'm highly educated, and I have been involved in the educational system. So for that man to stand here and say that our school system, it's not the best or degrading, I highly disagree with that. And I find it a little bit insulting, because if you compare it with other states, I think we are doing well. Back to the school formula. When I moved to Old Bridge, that was the year, or a year prior, or after, a few years prior, I think that was 2008. That was when the School Reform Act, I can't remember what it's called, that was when it was passed. It was in 2018. If you remember, that is when we lost Cheesequake. We had a lot of stuff because other protests going on within the country, within the town, to have these things. So we've had the cuts going on since 2008. The reason why I'm here this evening, I just wanted to answer a little bit of that. We have so many questions, including myself, that we are asking for a town hall meeting. Because when we come for these meetings, it feels like we don't have the opportunity to be able to ask questions. I don't know how this thing goes, whether it's just for the council members to listen to themselves. So we are pleading, I'm pleading, joining the other residents to say that if we can have a town hall meeting in October, so that all the questions that we have can be answered. If you need to bring in that person and other expertise, we will be gladly appreciated. Thank you.
Quickly, do I have to sign my name, or can I state my name? I'm not comfortable signing my name. Oh, okay. Teresa Burns. I did want to say that I know that the Board of Ed was brought up, and I just wanted to say there was a meeting tonight there. So it can be difficult to make both meetings. I don't know if it's ever been in discussion to move the meetings back so this way that they're not on the same night when they used to be on different nights. I want to reiterate the need for a town hall meeting, and I am grateful that there was mention of crossing party lines to make this happen. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janice. I've been a resident of Old Bridge for over 40 years. Now, with regards to the Menino Park track, Whispering Pines, we've had a flooding issue for several years because of construction in the area. There's too much traffic on the 516. It has become very, very unsafe. In Whispering Pines, in my court, we have lost 5 residents to traffic accidents. That's a lot. The quality of life issue is constantly, it's depleted. All you hear now is horns from the trucks. From 7 o'clock in the morning, they're constantly speeding on 516 and blowing their horns. And what's going to happen to the little animals if we do develop that area? Should be no opening to White Oaks Lane. This is a private area. That area of land, when I came here, was a private residence with a chicken farm. It was not an industrial area. And with regards to the problem with the taxes, yes, there is a problem with the New York school system. Essex County is one of the highest taxed areas in the state of New Jersey, not Middlesex County. Yes, I am not happy with my taxes, but we cannot condemn Essex County for the amount of taxes that they happen to pay. And with regards to the pharmaceutical companies, okay, if they want to exit, let them exit. They should pay their fair share of taxes. And Texas is complaining now with regards to all these companies moving there, because their quality of life is now being deteriorated. Thank you.
My name is Jeff. Good evening, Mayor, Council members, and thank you for your time and for everything you do for the Old Bridge running. Over the past few years, many residents have been trying to better understand how decisions around taxes, spending, pilot agreements, school budgets, and upcoming 2027 reassessment will affect our community. They're important topics, and people simply want clarity so they can feel confident and informed. Right now, the only way to get a detailed answers is through private conversations, calling the BA, speaking with the ward representatives, emailing the mayor, reaching out to Board of Education, or simply relying on unconfirmed information circling on social network. While I appreciate how responsive our officials have been, private conversations don't give all residents the same information, as they don't allow for shared understanding across the community. And that's why I'm respectfully asking the council to consider hosting town hall meetings between residents and township officials. A public town hall would give residents an opportunity to ask direct questions, hear clear, consistent information, understand how decisions affect both taxes and schools, build trust through open communication. These town hall meetings, by design, have strict agenda and limited time for discussions, and they are not meant for extended Q&A. A town hall would give simply everyone more space, officials and residents alike, to talk through complex issues in calm, organized, and transparent way. This request is not about criticism, it's about improving communication and making sure residents feel connected to the decisions that shape our town. We want to work with our officials, and the public forum would help us to do that more efficiently. So tonight, I respectfully ask you to consider scheduling town halls so residents can stay informed, ask questions openly, and continue building a stronger, more transparent relationship with our local government. Thank you again for your time, and thank you for continued service to Old Bridge.
Good evening. I wanted to thank you for the amount of time that was spent on the tax problem, the increases, and just explaining a lot, and having the Assemblyman here. I think that was a really great learning experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing some results on that, we all hope. I also would like to ditto Jeff in the request for a town hall meeting. And I think it'd be extremely beneficial to all the residents on every point that he mentioned. So to make my 3 minutes short, that's really it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Peter Hunt. I'm a resident of Old Bridge. I've been here since 1964. And I just wanted to say thank you all for the great evening tonight. Alex did a great job explaining what's going on out there, and we appreciate all of you and the work that you do for Old Bridge Township. I have a couple of things. One, before I came in today, I noticed on social media a post by Councilman De Palma, who's not here this evening, that basically was offering up small public meetups with residents in town, and I think that's a great start. I really do. And we're starting to hear from folks in the community as well, looking for these type of opportunities to speak with council and the mayor. I too agree. I think that direct questions and answers with our elected officials would be great. And I would ask for a town hall as well from the mayor and the Board of Education to all come together. I think the best thing about tonight was hearing that it is all of us. Mary, you hit it right on the head. It's all about Old Bridge. It's not about Republicans and Democrats. This is about our kids and our taxpayers and our leadership coming together for the best of the community. So I appreciate you all. Thanks.
Good evening. My name is Ron Varial. I'm a Old Bridge resident. I think I've met most of you outside of here. I came tonight because I typically watch the meetings on YouTube or catch up just to keep tabs on things, and I had no intention to speak, but I had to just echo what Peter just said. Sitting here in the audience, there are so many nights when I'm watching the recap, watching YouTube, and I just think there is so much passion up on that dais. There are so many people that have super strong opinions. And tonight, for the first time, it was nice to be in the room because it felt like that passion was conjoined. It was us against the state. It was us as Old Bridge, not this side versus that side. Not so much the finger pointing, but we've got a problem. Through our history, we've had so many times where we go through a crisis and we say, look what happens when we all come together and we try to fight on behalf of to find solutions and solve these problems. And it always has to start with that first step. So if the first step was tonight agreeing, we're going to write a letter. And we've got a letter from the residents, and we've got a letter from the committee, and we've got a letter from the mayor. The status quo right now is animosity in the state, in society. It's this one against that one. Couldn't Old Bridge be the role model? The role model that we came together. We broke the pattern. Our mayor is talking to mayors from other towns that are on both sides of the aisle. Make the bipartisanship on behalf of the residents the exception instead of the rule that it's become. And I would just applaud the sentiment that I felt in this room tonight because it was positive. When you watch it online, when you see some of the news coverage, it gets so polarized that maybe just the more we come here together and actually look each other in the face and talk to each other and shake hands afterward, you pick up something but the human interaction. So, like I said, I didn't mean to even get up and speak, but I think that there will always be a time you can look back and say, we did this together. We have so much passion. If we could bottle that and join forces as opposed to tear each other down, it just feels like a good time. And maybe this is the crisis that pulls, that we could pull together on. So, thank you.
Kevin Ahern, Old Bridge resident. I'll keep it short because it's late. I agree that a town hall with the town council and the Board of Ed would be a fantastic idea, be a great opportunity for the residents to hear from you and dispel some of the misconceptions, but also maybe get an action plan to get down to Trenton residents, not when the budget is being done then. Let's get this funding thing settled, because we've been talking about it for a long time. And on the Go Speed, whatever that new thing is, they have a senior discount. I was hoping she'd still be here. And maybe Optimum would be good enough to give us one. Anyway, good night. Thank you. Town Hall.
Good evening. Paul Moravec from Ward 6, and as I told the mayor, I have nothing to complain about tonight. I wasn't able to make the meeting last month, but I wanted to thank you for passing the data center resolution. I still think we have some existential problems with AI. I don't know how that's all going to play out, but that's a lot bigger issue than either of us can solve here. They're not here, but I want to express my appreciation to the police department, our fire department, the EMS. I've had a lot more contact with these people than probably most of you. My old next door neighbor was a retired lieutenant in the police force, so I got a gained appreciation about what these guys do every day. And whenever they knock on somebody's door, the danger that they're in. I was glad to see, I wasn't planning this, but I was glad to see Assemblyman Sawicki here tonight. We mentioned about writing letters. I do believe a lot of people really don't know what monies we get back versus how much monies we contribute. Maybe some additional information could be shared with people in the letters that go out along with their tax bills. Because, everybody just knows, hey, my taxes are going up and I'm paying more for school, and they just kind of, well, okay, this is what it is. But they don't realize we're only getting $3,100 back and Newark is getting $36,000. So, I think if people knew that, maybe they would create more, they would go after the state more and try and get some of the money. They've been raising their budget 9% a year. If we raised our own personal budgets 9% a year when we're getting a 33% pay raise, we're all going to go broke. Our school should be great if we're getting an increase of 9% a year going to the state. Other than that, just wanted to wish you a happy Labor Day. And they're not all here. There's 50,000 other residents out there, but schools are going back in session in 2 weeks, so be careful out there.
Hello, my name is Kelly Gonzalez, lifelong resident of Old Bridge. I would like to, with the other fellow residents, request a town hall. My biggest concern lately is besides the school, because my daughter's going into kindergarten, but is all the construction that's happening. I happen to live next door to one of the projects in town on Spring Hill Road, where there's seems to be no communication. We've had significant flooding on the road. My neighbor's property is getting destroyed. I never had water problems on my property at all. And now I do. I've trying to work with the builder. I've asked them to resolve the issue since I expressed that I never had any water issues. Thankfully, it's not up top yet near my house. I do have a lot of frontage in my house, so it's at the bottom. But it's now flowing from that construction site across my newly done landscaping and going out to the road, crossing over Spring Hill and going to my neighbor's house. We never had this issue before. So I think at a town hall, we could discuss certain issues. I have emailed the different zoning boards and sent some photos and stuff like that. But some of the video that I have, every storm that has happened, I go out there, I take video. I see, it's like being in the Wizard of Oz when the dust comes over. Somebody from the town did come to my house to see, and he's like, oh, I could see your house is very dirty because there's no dust control. I'm like, yeah, look, my white front door is no longer white. But there's certain things, and sometimes you don't know if the town knows about it. Are people saying anything? Do you guys really know what's going on? Are you seeing what's happening? The videos that I have is incredible. It looks like Niagara Falls coming off of that hill. That was the Three Olds Mill going down to Spring Hill, crossing over the road to the point where when a storm first starts, they drive on the opposite side of the road. And then when it's really flooded out, people just slow down. They don't know what part is the road anymore because you can't see it with all the mud going across. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Smolgen. I also am a resident of Spring Hill Road, and I live 2 doors down from Kelly. And what she's saying about the water issues because of this construction site is unbelievable. But then again, when you take away all of the landscaping, all the beautiful trees that were there from every inch of that property that they're building on, you took away what was retaining the water to begin with. And that's a problem. Second thing is, not only do we have that construction project going on, but we also have the project in front of us, which is the one at Route 9 and Schulmeister Road with the warehouses. And right now, I can tell you, I am so damn mad at that construction site for waking me up at 6:37 in the morning because they're pounding the earth to flatten it out. And that is not acceptable. And all I've been told is, well, if it happens, call the police department. That doesn't make any sense to me. How is the police relevant to that? It should be the boards that have put this in place and allowed it to happen. They should be responding, or the township themselves should be responding. What's happening now is not acceptable at all. Third thing, as a 42-year resident of Old Bridge, I respectfully request direct Q&A with our elected officials in an open and public forum. I ask the mayor and the council to agree to a date in October for our first town hall, giving us residents the opportunity to ask questions, hear directly from our leaders, and participate in respectful community dialogue. We have a lot of questions and we need answers to them. And we are looking to you guys to provide those answers. So please set a date for a town hall. Thank you.
Good evening, Joe Milo. I'd like to start with a comment from a young mother in town who spoke about Cheesequake Farm. She said, "All the farm's gone. My son was in preschool and the farm closed. He cried for days because that was his favorite farm. He's now 7 and still tells me he misses that farm from time to time." As I'm driving on Route 9 today, I saw the shell of Building 9 pop up on Schulmeister Road, which was just discussed before by the resident. 139,434 square feet gone to Central 9 Logistics, and more warehouses will be coming. Our town is disappearing from us, from our eyes. We're being given more warehouses and getting nothing but traffic and accidents in return. Waterworks Road, we have HB Warehousing proposing a 518,522 square foot structure behind the brand new Oaks at Glenwood development. I've heard residents from the Oaks plead to have this project stopped and that this land be rezoned as environmentally sensitive, which is what it is. For those who don't know, this is the CPS Madison Industries Superfund site under ongoing contamination cleanup by the DEP. This plot of land sits as close as 600 feet to some of the back of these homes. On the other side of Bordentown Avenue, adjacent to this land, Sayreville transformed their polluted property into a nature preserve. I think it's time we follow this example. I urge the township and the planning board to stop HB warehousing and to seriously consider a moratorium on all warehousing in Old Bridge in general. And I'd like to advocate as well for a town hall. Thank you.
Sorry for my dress. Good night and good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak. I'm hoping that all of you folks heard everybody loud and clear. We want a town hall. I know that I debated with Carl and he said he was going to do those things. So I'm asking for you to hold your word to it. I know there were other people on this council who also spoke to doing this, and it'd be great if you did. I hope that if you're planning in October the town hall, that you're not going to make it so short that there won't be an opportunity for real speaking and dialogue between the residents and you folks, because it's really important that you do this. The other thing is that, from what I remember, you were talking about, Mr. Pischetti, you were talking about the fact that real competition. I think the town was cut up many years before I even came in 2000 to how different operators, companies were coming in, Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, Bellworks, whatever, electric companies that were for providing services, digital services to our town itself. So where I live, we had Verizon and Comcast in the lower part of Ward 6, by the way. So it's great if that gets opened up. It'd be really nice if you guys would actually negotiate a real deal for people garbage collection, because every town resident, left and right, pays a different rate for the same service and the same company. It'd be nice if you did that. And finally, of course, Mr. Rosselli, I'm still waiting on the Energy Consortium. It'd be great if you brought that up in October and said, it's done. I'd love to hear that. Okay, how long do you expect that to be done? I apologize. I know question and answers are not usually. Could you remind him that December will be 6 years? Not 6 years that he's contracted, obviously, but 6 years since the town residents voted for this. You wanted to set me on him? Anyway, you guys have a good Labor Day weekend. Sometimes it's good. I negotiate contracts for the union of the university that way, by the way. But that was a long time ago. That was in the 90s. But have a good Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys had a good summer. But wildlife has been crazy, like usual, because, of course, as you know, the extra overbuilding that we've been seeing. That said, again, it would be really nice to see you guys create these opportunities to speak directly to and receive from the residents more than just our 3 minutes. But thank you. Have a good night. See you soon.
Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to be heard? Seeing, I'll ask for a motion to please close the public.
Motion.
Public comment portion is now closed.
Okay, and we'll move on to council comments.
Councilman Asatuli, you're first.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for everybody coming tonight. I want to take a few minutes to talk about tonight about something that affects every resident in Oak Ridge. How we manage tax dollars, how we protect this community, and how transparent we are about the decisions that we make. Over the last decade, Oak Ridge's municipal tax levy has grown at an average of a compounded rate of about 1.8% per year, below the state's 2% levy cap benchmark. And during that period, we have continued funding public safety, maintaining infrastructure, providing essential municipal services, and serving a community of nearly 70,000 residents. That is something the administration should be very proud of. And we've done it while facing significant pressures that are largely outside of our control. Insurance costs alone have increased 34%. And Oak Ridge has gone approximately 20 years without a meaningful increase in state aid. Those costs don't disappear. Someone has to manage them. That's why fiscal responsibility is more than simply saying, don't spend. It means controlling expenses, finding efficiencies, increasing revenue responsibly, pursuing grants and shared services, strengthening our commercial rateable base, and making sure every dollar is spent wisely. And at the same time, this is really important, okay? At the same time, we cannot balance a budget by sacrificing the things that matter most. Public safety remains one of our highest priorities. Old Bridge continues to be one of the safer, large communities in New Jersey, with violent crime substantially below state and national averages. That is a credit to our police department and our continued commitment of keeping Old Bridge safe. Thank you, fellas and ladies, of course. And I also want to address transparency. Residents have every right to know how their government operates and where their money is going. We don't just talk about transparency, we put the information out there. Residents can go to the Old Bridge Township website to find our 1, municipal budgets, 2, financial statements, audits, council agendas, and supporting documents, meeting minutes, ordinances, and public notices. The information is available because residents deserve the opportunity to see it, question it, and hold us all accountable. We should always look for ways to improve. We should always challenge ourselves to operate more efficiently. And we should never become complacent. But we should also recognize, ladies and gentlemen, what has been accomplished. Controlled spending in Old Bridge, grow revenue responsibly, protect public safety, maintain essential services, and be extremely transparent with the taxpayer. That is what we call fiscal responsibility. And that is the standard I believe we should continue to hold ourselves to here in Old Bridge, because the most important people are the residents. I thank you all, and we're listening.
Councilman Desai.
No comment. Thank you.
Councilman Merwin.
I want to applaud the township on tonight's presentation to the first responders. But I would love to see a large-scale awards presentation, maybe in the Silver Linings Building or the Civic Center, apart from a council meeting. We had officers that risked their lives, disarmed armed criminals, saved people's lives that were stabbed and shot, and we didn't get to hear all of those backstories. All right, so what I would love to see is just maybe one big awards presentation. It doesn't have to be a council meeting, you know, I mean, it was a great thing tonight. I'm not trying to diminish that. I just think that we should really give them the honor that they deserve and go from there. Hey, the end of the summer's coming. Memorial Day's right, Labor Day is right around the corner. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their summer. But remember, the kids are going to be out going to school pretty soon. Give them a break. Slow down. To the attorney or to the BA, 351 Monroe Avenue. What we can say, or if we can't say it, the gentleman is in the back of the room. Maybe we get him after the meeting so that we protect everybody's privacy. All right? Is that good? Is that better?
Yeah, I'll speak with Mark and we can.
Mr. Wilson, in the back, right, Mark? Okay. That's it. Thank you. Have a great summer, rest of the summer.
Councilman Pasquini.
Yeah, there was a ceremony tonight at 6 o'clock in this very chamber. It was just
That
an
would have been nice
awards.
if we were invited.
We were all invited. We got the email. You were on the email chain.
I didn't see it.
You missed it. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. And look, I'm a free speech person. I totally support you to have free speech. And I may not like some of the things that you talk about, but I'll support you to be able to speak. That's one of our freedoms that we have in this country. So, and I'll go on record right now. Town hall meeting, that sounds great. I have no problem with that. And I'm sure the rest of the council will say yes. It's just a matter of scheduling it. But I think it would be great, question and answer session. And maybe we can get, email questions beforehand so we can have the right professionals to answer. Because everything that we do, like Councilman Asatuli said, it's transparent. Everything is transparent. All the building that's going on in town had to go before the planning board or the zoning board. So residents that are within 250 feet of that construction should have gotten letters to say, hey, this is what's happening, and these people are going to be before the zoning or planning board. And then you would have your opportunity to ask questions and see exactly what's going on. That's part of the transparency. That's part of being in a community. It's not happening to you. We're in this together. Old Bridge is ours. This is our town. We're trying to manage it properly. We have a lot of really good professionals that work for Old Bridge. Your department heads and all the workers. You got really good people. Police department. So, look forward to it. Thank you.
Councilman Rizzoli.
I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I have no problem meeting with groups in my ward, town hall. Doesn't matter to me either way. I'll meet with my ward once a month if you want. Just pick a location. Other people are welcome to join us. It's great dialogue. I want to congratulate the police, fire, EMS for everything they do. The new hires, the promotions. Glad to see the old timers still look good in their dress blues. I had to give you a shout out. You're still here. But really, I think they'll agree. You guys are the best eyes and ears in the community. You're out there, you see everything. You contribute to the reason why this town is, really safe. And also you're giving us feedback. There might be a street I don't know there's a problem on. Reach out. You guys, Peter, you're practically a neighbor of mine. Don't hesitate. But like I said, if you guys want to have a meeting, anytime. My ward, I see there's a number of people here from my ward. And if you're not even from my ward, you're welcome to join. Set it up. I'll gladly be there. And enjoy the rest of your summer. Great Labor Day. Thanks for coming, and stay safe.
Councilman Von Stetten.
Great, thank you. I'll try to be short because it's getting a little late. Want to thank the residents who came out and spoke tonight. I appreciate all the different viewpoints from from residents. And along with Councilman Piscitty, I'm also in favor of a town hall of some sort. Obviously, there's logistics that need to happen, but I would be open to that as well. I want to congratulate all the police officers receiving awards tonight. I was actually at the ceremony at 6 p.m. It was very nice with all the family there and all the officers there. So congratulations, and to the promotions as well. I want to thank Anna and the PD and the Voorhees Elementary School administration for addressing a student drop-off and pickup issue that was going on that a resident reached out to me about. They were parking in no parking zones, throwing garbage on residents' yards, and it was becoming a problem. Now there's a pickup and drop-off loop that's going to happen with crossing guards, so there won't be as many cars being parked on these residential streets. So I want to thank you guys for the hard work on that and being able to get that done with the schools. Again, want to wish the students good luck in the new school year that's coming. And the last thing I just want to really address quick, we're talking about Q&As and everything like that. Councilman Asatuli and I were actually planning on having a Q&A in the near future, so keep on the lookout for social media for that as well. And that's it. Thanks.
Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg-Belli.
Yes, Old Bridge has a lot to offer, and a lot of times you're not aware, but there's always something going on that really is very refreshing to see. I know the library put on a concert for the 60s band. That was a lot of fun to go to. And it was nice when I pulled into the municipal complex to see everyone, whether they're playing pickleball or tennis, all our parks across the street. It's just so nice. You have to be positive too and enjoy some of the things that are around you. And then without a doubt, I appreciate when we have National Night Out, that by the police, the first responders, the fire companies, the OEM, you don't realize what goes on behind the scene. But there's all the equipment. If you went to that and you saw all the equipment and everything it takes to keep this town going and keeping it safe, we're not aware of everything, but it's really very intricate, and I appreciate them very much. Also, I want to thank our gang car show. They had a car show by Bubba's, and they had raised money for Lorenzo's Miracle Mission. This poor child has a neurologic disorder, and that is what's so nice about our community. They come together, and whenever there's someone in need, everyone will figure out a way to help in some way. As we talk tonight about reaching out to the governor's office about school funding, there's also something when everyone comes here about talking about open space. We love open space. If you've known me, that was how I got involved with things in town. And I'm happy to say I was intricate in preserving 179 acres. I have a little farm as my own. When people say they want open space, you have to take into consideration you have to have a willing seller, and then you have to have money to buy the land. But not only that, we are all for open space. But also we have to reach out when we talk about the state, what they're doing with the schools. The state is changing the demographics of this town, like congesting this whole state. We are the most densely populated state in the union, and I just don't even understand how they can cause this mandate for affordable housing when not coming here. They dictate how many new houses you have to build, and it gives the builder, the percentage they have to build, that's just 20%, 80% market value. That's astronomical. That's changing the whole landscape in this area. And so when you want to write a letter, if you're into writing letters, write a letter and say, stop this program. Because when they dictate our town how many units we have to build, it's not us. And the problem is, what happens is they don't give you money for police. They don't give you money for fire, EMS, first responders, road improvements, water, sewer. It's unconscionable that this is going on, and not just in our town. You read about this all the time. You can fight it with attorneys, which we've had. It's sad. It's like losing cause. I would have to say, our planner, she's been amazing. She got it down. She fought them. And we did make a difference this year, but still there is this mandate. So you have to work on doing that. I do want to say congratulations to Police Officer Stephen Conley, and also to Lieutenant Robert Mazelewski. I wish you many blessings in your retirement. May it be long and enjoyable. And I just hope everyone enjoys the rest of the summer. Be safe. Thank you.
Council President Sohar.
Yes, I just want to add that I think this evening was a positive. I think we really did try to come together and realize that we are in this, we are one town. And I think having the Assemblyman come and kind of quantify these numbers helped. It really did. So hopefully the dialogue like this will continue. We will write the letters as requested, and I do think that this is a start. As we move along with different topics, I think it's good to try to keep an open mind and not right away, resort to one side, another side. Just try to listen. And I think that's what happened this evening. And that's a big plus for Old Bridge. I'm very proud when all those officers came in tonight. That was amazing. This whole room was filled with officers and first responders, and their only goal is to keep us safe and make sure that our families are happy and healthy here in Old Bridge and not afraid. And they do a fantastic job. When you see them come in, this is a town you want to be part of. At least that's the feeling I got. Very, very proud and very happy for every one of them, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. So hopefully we have the rest of the summer will be good. Your Labor Day will be great. I can't believe I'm saying that already. I haven't really enjoyed summer yet, but anyway, everybody have a great rest of the summer. Enjoy. And then our BA would like to say something as well.
I just realized that our next meeting will take place after September 11th, so I would like to invite all of you to our September 11th ceremony at 6 p.m. It will take place at the 9/11 Memorial, which if you've driven by recently, you've seen orange fencing. It is a big project that our Director of Public Works, Casey Lenning, and his crew have undertaken. They have been working very hard over the last couple of weeks in renovating the pavers, putting down brand-new pavers because the concrete was discolored and cracked. So we've been working on putting new pavers in, new landscaping, and adding some additional features to the memorial to really enhance it. And I think after 25 years, it's important to do that, to just show that this is a day we will never forget. And we would love to have you all at our ceremony this year. 25 years later, it's still a very poignant day for Old Bridge and for the whole country. So 6 p.m. at the 9/11 Memorial, if it is raining, but it is not going to be raining because we're going to enjoy that new beautiful memorial. It is going to be in the Senior Center, and then we will go there to lay flowers afterwards, but it will be at 6 p.m. on September 11th. Thank you.
Please
come.
Yes, I
We're
was
gonna have
very
a,
remiss. Thank you so much.
We're going to have a special
speaker this year. Yeah. Yeah, Casey, thank you very much. That absolutely beautiful.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, Council Vice President, second. Second by Councilman Von Stetten. Roll call, Councilman Asatuli.
Yes.
Councilman Desai.
Yes.
Councilman Merwin. Adjourned. Councilman Pasquini.
Yes.
Councilman Rizzoli. Councilman Von Stetten.
Yes.
Councilman Von Stetten, yes. Council Vice President, Dr. Greenberg Belli, and Council President Sohar. Meeting adjourned, 10:54.